Good evening and welcome to Monday, February 10th, 1941. I'm Henry Chop, your host. I'll tell you what we have coming up tonight as far as old-time radio is concerned in just 1 minute. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. Well, tonight it was a typical Monday in 1941, February 10th. We have a lot of radio programs tonight. It seemed like Monday a lot of stuff was recorded as well. Well, we're going to start things off, of course, with the Lone Ranger, 4:30 in the afternoon Chicago time on this date, and it aired over Mutual. And this episode is titled On the Trail. And then we're going to have The Adventures of Superman. It was syndicated, did not air in Chicago. It aired over WOR in New York, however, and it aired at 5:15 in the evening. Then we're going to move up all the way to 7:55 Chicago time and Elmer Davis and the news. So we get a short 5-minute newscast with Elmer Davis. We're going to find out what was going on in the war. And then immediately after Elmer Davis at 8 o'clock, we have the Lux Radio Theater production of The Moon's Our Home. And this stars Carole, Lombard, and Jimmy Stewart. A great cast, cast there. And then immediately after Lux Radio Theater at 9 o'clock, also over CBS, we have the Lady Esther Serenade with Guy Lombardo. An interesting choice to put after Lux, because Guy Lombardo, I was listening to their music when I was, in the pre-show about a week or so ago, and I guess it kind of sounds like what would today be considered adult contemporary. It's music that seems to be a little dated in its sound, and I'm wondering how many younger people in their 20s and early 30s tuned out right after Lux over to another network at 9 o'clock. But hey, if you're 40 years old, your late 30s or 40s, and you remember the 1920s real well, you might have stayed on Lux to have some Guy Lombardo. And then following Guy Lombardo, we are going to close it out with the George Burns and Gracie Allen program. Now, this program does not have a specific date on it other than February 1941. And last week they were from Chicago, and this week they're from New York City. And it's their first week in New York City, so I figured I would place it right after the Chicago broadcast. Let's say they got on a train and went right to New York City. I think that's a pretty educated guess on the date on this program. Of course, they could have stopped over in Cleveland or Detroit or something on their way over to New York City. I just don't know. Even the radio logs that I used when I can't date something or I think something has an inaccurate date, I found no information there as well. So I figured I'd just use the date, just use my educated guess, right? Well, the tubes are warming up on this old tube radio. It's our time machine, you know. Let's give this stuff a listen.
Fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. following the Civil War, the Texas ranchers drove their cattle for hundreds of miles to reach a railhead or a market town. Outlaws and hostile Indians raided their herds almost at will, and it was not until the masked rider of the plains started his great fight for justice that the trails became safe. It was the Lone Ranger, more than any other man, who brought law and order to the lawless frontier. Return with us now to those thrilling days when the West was young. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We're heading for the Triangle X. There's going to be trouble. Now, Silver, away!
Jeff Munson, owner of the Triangle X outfit, watched his cowhands file through the door and fine chairs in the living room of the ranch house. Nellie Munson, Jeff's daughter, looked on with grave and anxious eyes, for she knew that her father was in financial difficulties. When the last man was seated, Jeff spoke.
Men, I suppose most of you get some idea why I asked you in for a confab.
Yeah, I guess we do, boss. But we're all behind you, every last one of us.
Thank you, lads. You see, men, this whole ranch, all I've worked for, my girl Nellie's future, your jobs, everything depends on getting our herd to a buyer and selling for a good price. If we don't, the bank forecloses on the mortgage, the spread will be sold to that eastern outfit, and a whole new crew will be moved in.
Oh, we just can't let that happen. We can't.
That's what we're here to talk about. As a matter of fact, we got a buyer. That is, if we can get the herd over the trail to North Junction before somebody else gets there with another herd. If we can, we're all right. If we can't, well, things won't be so good.
And what are we waiting for, boss? We got the trail herd all bunched. Let's be getting on our way.
Trouble is, somebody's got to go along with that herd that can make a deal with the buyer.
Yeah.
If it wasn't I was getting along in years, I'd go myself. As it is, somebody else got to handle the job. Doggone it, you fellas are the best waddies anywhere in range country. But there's not a one of you can read or write a line. Ain't that so, lads?
Gosh, I never figured before that schooling had anything to do with punching cows.
Well, in this case, it sure enough has.
Well, where's your foreman? Isn't he capable of handling the job?
That sneak.
Double-crossing varmint?
You were just tired on here yesterday, didn't you?
That's right.
Then that explains how come you don't know about him. He was rid off of this spread on a rail. And if he ever shows his face around here again, it'll be to boot hill for him.
I don't believe I've heard his name.
Red Megan, that's who he was.
You know what the polecat was doing, Pard? He was drawing wages from Jeff here, and unbeknownst to us, drawing double wages from Slick Hennessy over to the Lazy M to interfere with the bosses getting the herd to market.
Oh, this new hand looks like he could read and write and figure. Maybe he'd be the man you want.
I'd be glad to take it on.
You reckon that? No offense, Matt, but this is something too important to be trusted to newcomers. It'll have to be someone I've known for a good long spell. You can see how it is, can't you?
Of course.
And what are we going to do, boss?
I don't know. I was hoping maybe one of you could make a suggestion, but...
Paul?
Yeah, honey?
Now, don't laugh at me, please, Paul, but I could do it. I could go with the herd, honest I could. And I could rough it while we're on the trail just as good as any other man.
That's mighty nice of you, girl. But it wouldn't be hardly fitting.
Oh, I knew you'd say that. I'll leave it to the men. Would you be willing to go along with me for the boss? Do you think I'd do?
You bet you doggone, Miss Nellie, you'd make the best trail boss this outfit ever had.
Sir, you've got spunk, Miss Nellie. We'd admire to see you tackle it.
There, Paul.
No, honey, I'm afraid.
Oh, you ain't even trying to consider it. You just made up your mind quick as I said a word. And now you're going to keep stubborn, even if you know you're wrong. Now, please, Paul, please.
It just don't seem right.
But something has to be done. Who else is there to do it? That herd's got to be started first thing tomorrow. If you say I can't go along, why, it's just the same as saying you're giving up the ranch.
That's right, boss.
You're sure your cattle can be sold when they reach North Junction?
The only thing that'll stop it is somebody beat me to it.
Then, Paul, it's up to me.
Well,
Word of honor, boss. We'll take Nellie's orders same as if she was a man. And you can just bet none of the boys would let anything happen to her.
you're a mighty fine crew.
Oh, tain't that.
And I got a girl to be proud of, too.
You mean you let me go?
It ought to be thought over a mite more.
Oh, there's no time.
Better be decided right now.
Yes, I feel as though I'm being sort of rushed into this to give him a better judgment, but by Ginger, she can do it.
Welcome to the new trail, boss.
Then get your duffel ready. Line up your cayuses and see to your leather. You're starting north in the morning.
That night, the new hand on the Triangle X left the bunkhouse and made his way to a cluster of willows. A great white stallion was waiting there. The man was the Lone Ranger, and as he rode to meet his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, he rid himself of his disguise and fitted a mask over his face.
Come on, Silver, old fellow. We've news for Tonto. Hurry, boy. I'll Silver, away!
The great horse raced toward a hidden camp in the faint glow of a small campfire. There, the masked man reined up.
You not wear disguise.
I'll not need it again, Kimasabi. I've learned all I can at the Triangle X. The drive for North Junction will start at daybreak.
A feller named Hennessy. Him ready to start, too.
I was afraid of that. It'll mean a race. And ruin for Jeff Munson if he loses.
That have heat bad.
And he has to send out his herd with only his daughter in charge. She's a courageous girl, though. I didn't want them to think I knew too much about their affairs at the ranch, Tonto. I asked them to tell me about Red Meegan. Did you get track of him?
Him take herd, too.
You sure of that? Not Hennessy's Lazy M?
No, that not it. Jeff fire Red, and Hennessy not want him more. Red go to running W. Get job there.
Then it's a running W herd Red's leading. That means there aren't two. There are 3 herds in the race.
There other bad news.
What, Tonto?
Red start week go. Him get there to market first.
A full week's start on the Triangle X. Doesn't seem possible a lead like that can be overtaken. What kind of country is that up there, Kimasabi? Are you familiar with it?
Oh, Tonto know it good. That near Comanche River. Tonto know Comanche River heap good.
Well, we're going to fight on Jeff's side. Call Scout, Tonto.
Here, Scout.
Steady, Silver.
And where we go?
We're going to ride ahead on the trail. And if an opportunity arrives to help the Triangle X outfit, we'll seize it. Ready? Come on, Silver.
Get him up, Scout.
Early the following morning, Nellie Munson watched the Triangle X crew as they rounded up the herd and made ready to start the drive. Jeff stood beside the girl's pony and offered a last word of advice.
Remember, honey, give me a word you'd run no risk at what's necessary.
You can trust me, Paul. What's more, we'll get there and bring back the money the buyer pays us just as soon as ever we can.
Now, Nellie, you listen close.
Yes?
If anything happens to the market up there, if anything comes up so she can't sell the herd, you stick right close to North Junction and wait for word from me.
It wouldn't be worth trying to drive the herd back, anyhow.
I know, but now you listen. I ain't got all my eggs in one basket. I never said nothing about it, but I've been dickering with the federal soldiers. If I find they're going to buy, I'll send a messenger to tell you. And if you can't sell in North Junction, you just can drive one across Comanche River to the fort.
I remember, Paul.
And Nellie, don't you let this slick Hennessy or nobody else bluff you out of what's right for yours. For you, girl.
Goodbye, Paul. Get up. Goodbye.
Bye, honey. So long, fellas. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
It was a long, weary journey to North Junction. There were rivers to cross, hills to penetrate, grazing land to be found. Nervous cattle had to be soothed to prevent a stampede. Stragglers had to be urged along, ailing cattle tended. But one day, Tex raced up to Nellie with good news.
Miss Nellie! Miss Nellie!
What is it, Tex?
Oh, there. Oh. Miss Nellie, guess what?
What?
I told you I was going to back trail, recollect? And I done that same. Miss Nellie, Hennessy's Lazy M herd is 2 days behind us.
2 days? And we're almost at North Junction.
Ain't that great? Ain't it, huh?
Tex, it means we're going to win.
Just wait till I tell the rest of the boys. Get up there.
Triangle X herd held its margin over that of the Lazy M throughout all the remaining trip. There were still 2 full days in the lead when Nellie Munson's cowboys bunched their cattle in the flats east of town.
Miss Nellie, you get right to town and look up that fire. See, that cash is just as good as in your pa's pocket.
Nellie made her way at once into town, down the main street to the office of the buyer she'd been instructed to see. There she reined up.
Oh, there. Now, you just wait here, Dusty. This won't take me long.
Come in.
Mr. Grady?
Yes?
I'm Nellie Munson.
Oh, indeed. Won't you sit down?
Thank you. Oh, no, I can't. I'm so excited I just couldn't sit down. You do recognize my name, don't you? Nellie Munson. Jeff Munson's my father, the Triangle X.
Oh, yes, of course I do.
I can't keep it in any longer. Mr. Grady, I'm a trail boss.
You are what?
I brought Pa's herd all the way here. I was in full charge.
A girl for a trail boss, eh? Well, now that is something.
I think it is.
Let me congratulate you.
Thank you, Mr. Grady. You see, Paul couldn't come.
It does seem a shame that you had the trip for nothing.
Had what?
I would have liked to buy your cattle.
But Paul said you would. He said all we had to do was to get here first. And we did. We did. The Lazy M herd won't be here until the day after tomorrow. You were just joking, weren't you?
I bought a herd of running W cattle almost a week ago.
No, you...
I'm sorry.
When I made that trip, I was so proud. I was going to tell Paul how well I did.
There now. I'm sorry. Truly I am.
I know I'm an awful baby.
No girl who could take a trail boss's job could be a baby, young woman.
Then you won't be needing any beef at all?
I couldn't possibly buy more.
There's no one else in town? No other buyer who'd want our herd?
I'm afraid not, Miss Munson. Believe me, I'd be only too glad to tell you if there were.
There's Lige.
One of your men?
Yes.
Come in.
You made the deal, Miss Nellie? Everything's all set? We sure had a dandy drive, Mr. Grady. Yes, sirree.
No, Lige, the deal hasn't been made.
Reckon you're saving that till after you freshened up a mite, huh?
Don't, Lige. Don't look so happy.
My girl.
I was a failure. I didn't get the herd here in time. Mr. Grady'd already bought. Paul lose the ranch, Lige. You and the men will all lose your jobs.
Oh, shucks now, Miss Nellie. Don't you go to carrying on so.
I've told her how sorry I am.
Sure, we're all sorry. But it ain't nothing we're going to let us get us down. Now look up at me, Miss Nellie, and get the tears out of them pretty eyes.
Oh, Lige, I can't. I just can't. A failure, Lige. A failure.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Nellie Munson had made a courageous bid to get her father's cattle to market, only to find when they arrived that the only buyer had purchased all the beef he would need almost a week earlier. The disappointment of her crew when they learned the news made her more determined, and she refused to admit final defeat. She talked over the situation 2 days later in the camp the men had made close to the grazing herd.
Something will come up. You wait and see.
I don't know what it'd be, Miss Nellie.
Of course, there ain't no call for me to butt in with my ideas. But I'd say we just got our choice of two things. Either we try and get this beef back over the trail before winter really sets in, or make some arrangements for winter grazing around here.
That last is about the only thing I can see to do.
Well, I can see more.
We just...
I told you what Paul said before we left. How do we know there still ain't a chance to sell our cattle to the troops? We're not stirring an inch till that messenger gets here that Paul said he'd send.
I ain't got much faith in it.
But I'm still the boss.
You're that right enough.
Who's that coming?
Well, he's one of our boys.
It's Slick Hennessy.
That polecat. I thought I seen a lazy M horse at the hitch rail in front of the cafe today.
I'd like to...
Quiet.
Howdy, folks. Oh, there. Whoa, whoa.
What do you want?
Well, just thought I'd have a look at the girl that's got herself famous for bringing a trail herd all the way here. Where it ain't wanted.
We're no worse off than you are.
No? Well, I don't have to sell my critters like you do.
Why, you low-down sidekick of a sidewinder? We wouldn't have to neither if it wasn't for you hiring Red Meegan to turn crooked.
Well, they say all's fair in love and war and business, you know.
Some people seem to think so.
Oh, now, there ain't no use getting mad. I didn't have nothing to do with Red bringing them running W cows here. You can bet on that. I was just as anxious to sell my herd as you was.
And not half as particular how you done it.
Red knew of the buyer here through working for Paul. That's how you knew of the market. He told you. Then when you wouldn't have nothing to do with him after he was run off your place, he got another herd and beat the both of us. And I'm as glad as I can be that he beat you anyhow.
And now that you've stopped in and paid your compliments, maybe you'd better get back in that fancy saddle of yours and head back for folks that like your company better than we do.
Yeah, Pard, you'd better make tracks.
Easy on them smoke holes.
They're sticking for me. Get.
Well, we're both buncoed together on this. Why can't we figure something out between the two of us?
Get.
But
The lady said get.
And here's something to help you get.
Real smart, ain't you?
On your way.
Well, I tried to make friends. And now you're going to learn what it means to have me for an enemy.
You ain't never been nothing else.
Get up, get up.
Look at him skedaddle.
Now that he's get like he was told to, Miss Nellie, you made up your mind about our plans?
Well, they're just what I said before. We don't move an inch till we hear from Paul.
In the meantime, the Lone Ranger and Tonto had kept a close watch on developments. There had been no way in which they could have brought the Triangle X herd to North Junction before that of the Running W. They knew of the messenger expected by Nellie. They stayed on hand to learn what Jeff Munson's instructions would be.
Well, this is a good place for our camp, Tonto.
There's plenty cover.
I wasn't thinking of that so much, but from this spot, we've got a good clear view of the trail over which Jeff's messenger must ride to reach North Junction.
That's right.
I wish we knew more about what Hennessy is up to.
Him plenty clever.
He has a plan of some sort. Have you noticed that the fact he arrived too late to sell his herd hasn't bothered him any? If he doesn't sell, he stands to lose a lot of money. Yet he acts as though he stood to make a profit. Red Meegan, I think, is out of it. He sold his cattle. He's got nothing to gain by plotting against either party.
That's right.
And still...
That's Silver.
What is it, old boy? You see something. Come. I don't see... Oh, wait, Tonto.
What matter?
Your rope, quick.
You got it.
Hurry.
Here. Here, rope.
Silver's seen another horse, Tonto. See? Behind that tree there. I want to get a rope on him before he's frightened away. Quiet, Silver. Now then.
You get him.
Come on, boy. There's nothing to be frightened of. Come on. Come on, boy. And that's it, old fellow. You'll not be hurt.
Him make friends fast, huh?
Look at the brand he wears, Tonto. Do you see now why I was so anxious to get him?
Him wear Triangle X.
Right. And this isn't one of the horses that traveled with the trail herd either. See if there's anything in that saddlebag. Nothing?
Bag empty. Here, Mark, though.
Initials burned into the leather. L.R.K. L.R.K. Tonto, Larry Knight, the young horse wrangler at the Triangle X.
You know him?
I met him those 2 days I spent at the ranch. He wasn't with the trail herd either, Tonto. And I'm willing to wager anything that he's the messenger sent by Jeff.
And where him now?
I don't know. I'm getting an idea there's one man who does know, though.
Who him?
Slick Hennessy. Here, Silver. Call Scout.
Here, Scout.
This must explain why Hennessy's been so self-satisfied. He either had the messenger already, or he knew he could stop him. And Tonto, if Jeff had found another market, this means Hennessy has learned of it before Nellie Munson. Come on, we're going to find out what's up.
Get him up, Scout.
Come on, old fellow. Come on.
It was early the next morning that a rider raced into the trail camp. Nellie hurried to meet him.
Miss Nellie?
Yes?
I'm the messenger from your pa. I hoped I wouldn't have no trouble finding you.
You must be a new man.
Yes, and your pa was kind of short-handed with this year crew away from the home spread.
Who's this fellow, Miss Nellie? What's he want?
He says he's a messenger from Paul.
I never seen him before.
No, just saying Mr. Munson hired me after you and the others left.
Well, what's the message?
Well, Jeff says you're to stay here and get the winter range for the herd. He couldn't find no buyers.
Oh, dear.
He just told you that? He didn't put it down in writing?
Well, didn't figure it to be necessary, I reckon. Leastways, that's all I know about it.
Oh, it'd be like Paul to do that, Lige.
What I can see is, why he'd send a messenger all the way here just to tell us that. We'd have done that much when we had to without being told. Seems kind of funny to me.
Hey, you mean I ain't telling the truth?
Oh, I don't know what I mean. Except I mean this is a funny way of doing business.
Lodge,
Huh?
a masked man and carrying someone across the saddle.
What the? Steady there, horse.
Stay where you are. Don't get to that saddle.
You. Oh, my hand.
What?
That man, he's from Hennessy.
Oh.
I thought there was something funny about you. Stand just where you are.
Lodge, look. It's Larry Knight, the wrangler the masked man's got across the saddle.
He's been wounded. He's the real messenger from your father, though.
Oh, Larry.
And Larry was conscious for a few minutes after I found him tied in the cap. Hennessy has left.
Huh? The Camp Hennessy left?
Yes. He got the message that the soldiers would buy the first cattle delivered to the fort. Hennessy is on his way with his herd already. Here, take Larry from the saddle.
I got him.
Now, there. He'll be all right with a little care.
Hennessy's got a head start. We're beat again.
Miss Munson, get your herd on its way. Headed for the Comanche River. The fort is on the other side. And I give you my word, your cattle will get there first.
You mean?
Do as I say. Hail, Silver, away!
Confident that Nellie would direct her herd toward the fort, the Lone Ranger raced down the trail and rejoined Tonto.
Come on, Tonto! Come! Hurry, Silver, hurry!
They circled the herd, driven by Slick Hennessy, and did not stop until they'd reached the banks of the Comanche River. At the spot where they drew up, the river gave the appearance of being split by an island.
Well, this is the spot you spoke of, Tonto?
Fort on the other side river. Down that way. Maybe 4 or 5 miles. You not see it.
It's out of sight. I'm just wondering if those trail herds will come this way, though.
There no other way. Here only place to cross river.
The way that land splits the river, Tonto, it does look like an island.
First water, then land, then more water. Hennessy herd cross first water, rest on land, and cross second water. Go on north.
Yes. You'll wait here for Hennessy to arrive, then, Tonto.
Me wait.
And I'll ride on and get out of sight. Come on, Silver.
Slick Hennessy, riding ahead of his herd, reached the near bank of the Comanche River to find Tonto waiting for him.
Oh, there. Howdy, Injun.
Oh.
This is a place to ford the Comanche, ain't it, Injun?
It's bad river, though.
Well, just so it's crossable.
You cross to land, then cross from land to other bank.
Oh, that land. Well, that's an island there, is it? Yeah, it is all right. I can see the water on the other side. Well, thanks, Injun. I'll be getting back to the herd. Get up, get up.
Soon the Lazy M herd showed up, and under the prodding of the cowpokes began a difficult crossing. As Tonto had directed, the animals were sent to the land halfway across, then urged into the water once more until they'd reached the far side.
Hold them critters where they are. We're waiting for that Triangle X outfit to show up.
It was late in the day when Nellie Munson and her men reached the river. They saw Hennessy's herd on the far bank, but sent their own cattle to the middle strip of land. This, however, was all the progress they could make, and...
Here comes Hennessy now, the sneak. He knows with his critters over there, we can't get more than halfway across.
Well, Miss Nellie, here we are meeting again. And you're right in the middle of a river.
Move your critters on. You're holding us up.
You can't get away with him.
I am, though, ain't I? Now, just a second. Let me tell you a few things. You had your fun with me over to North Junction. Thought it was great fun to drive me out of your camp. Refused to even talk business with me. All right, now listen to this. That's my crew, and there's my herd. And this is the only crossing along the river. Just the second you start pushing your herd off this island, the men start firing on you.
The law gets you for that.
I don't see no law right handy, do you, Miss Nellie?
Then you won't let us get across? You won't fight this out fair and square?
No. Like I said, you're on this island, and you're here to stay.
Only this isn't an island.
What the...
That's a Mexican.
And a redskin.
Right, Miss Munson, start your cattle moving.
Don't you see we can't? Hennessy's holding us up.
And don't try to cross over there. Swing your herd to the side. Follow the strip of land to the east.
But there ain't no ford for them cows anyplace else.
That's where I got it.
And you plenty wrong.
Hennessy, suppose you take a look at the river. Both channels. A real close look.
Well, what's there to see? It's just a... Hey!
I think you do see.
What is it? What do you mean?
Look at the direction of the current.
The current? Yippee! See, Miss Nellie, this strip of water we just crossed is flowing in one direction, and this water ahead of us is flowing in the other.
Well, I don't understand.
Doggone, Miss Nellie, if this was all just one channel split up by an island, the water'd all be flowing in the same direction.
The river's made a hairpin turn. You can't see where the actual turn is made. That's why it was so easy to think that this strip of land that you're on is an island. As a matter of fact, right now you're on the bank you wanted to reach. Hennessy, by crossing both strips of water, ended up in the same bank from which he started. To reach the ford, he's got to come back again.
Why, that doggone redskin, he was the one that told me to go all the way over there.
No, you don't. You're covered. Drop that gun back in its holster.
All right, you got the drop on me. But I'll get my men and start my herd back, and I'll trim the ears off this bunch.
You might, except for one thing.
Huh?
You told these people that you could easily keep them from crossing. Now the positions are reversed. They can hold you up just as easily.
Why, Slick Hennessy, we got you dead to rights. We're getting to the fort with the cattle, and you're going to trail behind just like you thought to make us do.
And all because the masked men and the engine gave us help when we needed it most.
Hello, Silver! Away! The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Up in the sky! Look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan daily. As our story opens today, Kent and his editor, Perry White, are on their way to the Chinese section of the city in response to an urgent summons from Dr. Chi Wan, learned scholar and collector of Oriental art. Darkness has fallen, and the narrow, winding streets are empty, save for a few wraith-like figures half hidden in shadowed doorways. Here and there, a dim light burns in a store window piled high with bits of jade, lacquered boxes, and all manner of strange curios from a land beyond the seas. The unearthly silence is broken only by the purr of a motor car. Listen.
Isn't it a little strange that Dr. Wan didn't tell you why he wanted to see you, Mr. White?
Not if you know Orientals, Kent. They don't say much over the telephone. It's an instrument of the devil, and they don't trust it.
Oh, but surely Dr. Wan doesn't feel that way. Wasn't he educated here in the United States?
Yes, but the Chinese have certain inborn superstitions that even education won't eradicate. Once an Oriental, always an Oriental. Here, take it easy. I think that's the house over there. Number 44. Pull up to the curb.
Okay. Well?
Let's get out. You better lock the car.
Okay. There.
Now, come on. Chi-Wan owns this jewelry store and lives above it.
Yeah, but this store looks closed to me.
He said to come up to his apartment.
Oh.
I guess we go through this hallway.
Yeah. Oh, it sure is dark in here.
Well, light a match, Kent, so we can find the stairway.
All right. Oh, there it is. I'll lead the way.
I don't know what's on Wan's mind, but it better be mighty important, or I'll wring his neck for dragging me down here at this hour of the night.
Uh-oh. The match went out. Hold on, I'll light another.
Kent, look out!
What happened?
Someone threw a knife at us. I saw him when you lit that match.
What?
Crouched down there in the hallway.
What, is he still there?
No, he ran outside. And in the maze of narrow streets out there, you'd never find him. Now, where's the knife?
Wait a minute. Here, stuck in one of the steps.
You're a lucky boy, Kent. Missed your back by a fraction of an inch.
Oh, let's see.
Here, wrap a handkerchief around the handle and pull it out.
Okay.
Maybe Chi-Wan can explain this attempt at murder. Come on. Let's get up to his apartment before someone else decides to use us as a target. I should have known we'd run into something screwy down in this neck of the woods.
And you cannot know, my honored friend, how pained I would have been if harm had befallen you.
Not nearly as pained as Clark Kent would have been if that knife had landed in his back instead of the step. Lucky thing I happened to look around just as that yellow devil let it fly.
It was one of my countrymen?
Yeah, I think so. Now, look here, Chiwan. What's this all about? People don't go around hurling knives at strangers without reason.
There is reason. Good and ample reason. May I speak freely?
Go right ahead. Kent's one of my ace reporters. I brought him along because he has a peculiar knack for ferreting things out.
Don't count too much on that, Dr. Wan.
Mr. Kent, in this hour of tribulation, I must count on everything. As you are no doubt aware, I am an importer of Chinese art treasures.
So Mr. White told me.
Through my hands have passed priceless vases of the Ming Dynasty, hand-wrought silver that once adorned the throne of the Emperor Lao Tan, chests of inlaid teak wood, the beauty of which is beyond description.
Yes, we know all that, Chiwan. Now, come on, get to the point.
Patience, my honored friend, patience. My father once told me, it is only a fool who hurries to the grave.
Nobody's asking you to hurry to your grave.
Unfortunately, the grave is my destination.
What? What's that?
Yes. They are closing in on me like dark shadows of night. There is no escape.
What in the name of heaven are you talking about?
Before the next sun rises, I will be dead.
What do you mean, Dr. Wan?
Have you lost your mind? Well, in all my born days,
Please. There is a little time, and I have much to tell you. But first, you must give me your solemn oath that not one word of what I am about to tell you will ever pass your lips.
Well, that all depends, Chiwan. If it's information the police should have, I'm not going to hold it back.
Believe me, honored friend, the police can be of no assistance, or I should have called on them long ago.
Well, all right, you can trust me with your secret.
And you, Mr. Kent?
Of course.
I am grateful to you both. Now, if you will bear with me, I shall try to tell you why I have asked your assistance. Forgive me if I speak softly. It is said that sometimes even the walls have ears. In 1930, while traveling through western China, I discovered in an ancient temple in the province of Shenxing a goatskin manuscript written by an unknown scholar 3,000 years ago.
It's a long way back, Dr. Wan.
The Chinese Empire is more than 4,000 years old, Mr. Kent.
Oh, what about the manuscript? What was on it?
The characters were faded almost beyond legibility. But by dint of patient effort and the use of a high-powered magnifying glass, I was able to decipher them.
Go on, what did it say?
You will not believe me, but there, written on a square of goatskin 3,000 years old, was the secret of everlasting life.
What's that?
The secret of everlasting life.
You mean, Dr. Wan, that the manuscript contained a formula for keeping human beings alive forever?
No, Mr. Kent.
I thought I heard wrong.
You did not, honored friend. The manuscript said that he who finds the 10 teeth of the sacred green dragon will have life everlasting.
No, wait a minute, Chiwan. I'm a busy man. I run a newspaper, and the owners of that newspaper don't pay me to chase pink elephants or green dragons.
Please, I beg of you, do not treat this matter lightly.
Well, if you think either Kent or myself can waste time hunting for a green dragon, well...
I have already found the dragon.
Where, Dr. Wan?
In the ruins of the Shenxing temple. It was an idol, hand-carved. But the teeth were missing. Vandals had stolen them.
Who'd want a handful of teeth, even from a green dragon?
You do not understand. The 10 teeth of the sacred dragon are 10 pieces of pure jade, each one of which is engraved with a Chinese symbol.
Go on, Doctor.
Each symbol describes a rare herb found only in the lofty mountains of western China. When all 10 herbs are combined, ground into a powder, that powder renders the human body free of disease forever.
And you believe that, Chiwan?
I cannot help but believe it. For even now, I have in my possession 9 of the dragon's teeth.
Where did you find them?
All over the world, Mr. Kent. Some had been set in rings, others in necklaces.
You say you have 9. What about the 10th?
I failed to find it until a month or so ago when I learned it was in the possession of one Walter Huffman, a dealer in precious stones. I sent a trusted employee to purchase it from Huffman. But therein I made my mistake.
How come?
This employee, Hu Ling, had assisted me in deciphering the manuscript and knew the secret of the dragon's teeth.
And he told Huffman.
Exactly, Mr. Kent. In order that Huffman might demand an exorbitant price for the one piece he had.
Oh, I'm surprised Huffman didn't offer to buy the 9 pieces of jade you have after hearing the story.
He knew that was impossible. And so he has been trying to get them in another way. That is why my life is in danger. That is why I have asked you two to help me. They are watching this house night and day. If I attempted to leave, I would never reach the street alive. With you two, it is different.
Oh, yeah? What about that knife Kent almost got in the back?
A mistake, I am certain. Huffman would not risk killing a white man. But, of course, if you are afraid...
We're not afraid, Dr. Wan. What do you want us to do?
I want you to take the box containing the 9 pieces of jade.
Yes?
If anything happens to me, deliver the box to Professor Henry Wells, head of the Oriental Department at the National Museum, and tell him what I have told you.
All right.
And another thing. You must promise me that if ever the dragon's teeth reveal the secret, that it will be given to the world without cost.
Kent, do you think it's safe for us to carry that stuff out of here? What if some of Huffman's hired killers pounce on us?
We'll keep an eye out now that we know the setup.
You know, T1, it'd be much simpler to just call the cops.
No, there would be questions to answer. Stories in the newspapers. It is best that only a few be aware of the dragon's teeth, lest all of humanity be made to pay dearly for a secret that belongs not to one man, but to the world.
All right, we'll take a chance. Where's the box?
I shall get it. But first, you must join me at tea. Only this morning I received a special shipment of a delicate aromatic blend. You will like it, I'm sure.
Well, what's that?
My servant with the tea. Excuse me. Now, if one of you will do me the honor of pouring, I will get the box of jade in the meantime.
Okay, I'll pour.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Well, Kent, what do you make of it?
I don't know, Mr. White. It's puzzling.
Certainly you don't believe that nonsense about the 10 herbs, grinding them into a powder and getting something that'll cure all disease.
No, Dr. Wan didn't say it would cure disease. He said it would keep humans from getting disease.
Whatever he said, it's voodoo stuff, and it doesn't make sense to me. We'll take the box of jade and deliver it to Professor Wells at the National Museum. But as far as believing they have any special value, those dragon's teeth, well, I don't go for that kind of witchcraft.
Well, that's what people said when the Chinese discovered gunpowder, Mr. White. They called it witchcraft.
I know, but... Say, don't tell me you've fallen for Chi-Wan's story. Here, have some tea.
Oh, thanks, I don't drink it. No, I haven't fallen for anything, but it might be possible. After all, doctors have discovered medicines that keep people from contracting various diseases.
We'll see. This tea is good. Leave it to the Chinese to dish up a good cup of tea. Try some, Kent.
No, thanks.
You don't know what you're missing. Nothing like a good cup of tea.
Kent!
What's the matter, Mr. White?
My throat. It's tightening up.
Mr. White!
That tea. Poison.
Was the tea poisoned? And if so, by whose hand? Can it be that Dr. Chi-Wan is playing another part in this strange Oriental drama? Don't forget to tune in next time and follow the weird story of the dragon's teeth with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
8:55 Eastern Time, and Columbia and its affiliated stations bring you Elmer Davis and the news. For the moment, the attention of Europe is again centered on the Balkans. The British government today broke off diplomatic relations with Romania on the ground that the Germans were using that country as a military base and building up there all the elements of an expeditionary force. However, it was said in London that this was only a polite warning and did not imply that Britain and Romania must go to war. In Berlin, it was argued that the British had taken this action because Premier Antonescu's firmness had prevented any further British espionage on the Germans in Romania, and it was insisted that Germany regards Britain itself as the principal objective and is not considering a war on two fronts. Meanwhile, the Bulgarian government denied Winston Churchill's statement in his speech yesterday that thousands of German troops have filtered into that country. But it was reported in Sofia, the Bulgarian capital, that Russia had told the Bulgarian government that it would keep hands off if the Germans wanted to pass through. This story, however, is still without confirmation. And the Italian radio came out today with a sharp warning to Yugoslavia not to abandon its neutrality. Rather surprisingly, for Yugoslavia had not otherwise appeared in recent speculation as to political shifts in the Balkans. In France and Switzerland, it is reported that the Spanish leader, General Franco, and his foreign minister, Serrano Suñer, are on their way by automobile to France, and most of the stories say they are going on to Italy by way of the French Riviera. Some reports, however, have it that Serrano Suñer, at least, is coming to Vichy, perhaps to try to arrange for joint French and Spanish action to relieve the food shortage which is acute in Spain and beginning to be serious in unoccupied France. Naturally, there are stories that the Spanish leaders are going to arrange for the use of Spanish air bases by the Axis, which may or may not be true. And in Vichy, it is rumored also that they may offer to provide a haven in Spain or the Spanish islands for Italian troops evacuated from Africa. How the Italian troops would get there with the British Navy in the way is not explained. The French political situation, our correspondent Mr. Terrick reports from Vichy, is still in a state of flux. But Marshal Pétain retains effective control in spite of the new honors given to Admiral Darlan. Today, Darlan was named as eventual successor to Pétain, and he now seems to hold all the offices that belonged to Pierre Laval before his overthrow on December 13th. How he will use them remains to be seen, but he could hardly have reached this position if his promotion had not been satisfactory to the Germans. The French and German automobile industries agreed today on what is called collaboration. Raw materials will be shared between them in what proportions is not explained, but the French industry will be limited to the manufacture of trucks, and a considerable part of its output will go to Germany. There wasn't much fighting today. The Italians are still counterattacking in Albania, but the Greeks say they continue to throw them back. And in Libya, the British are mopping up after their recent victory at Benghazi. Fresh British forces have moved into Eritrea from the north, while the Italians say they threw back a British mechanized column in the Kufra oasis in southeastern Libya. Air action is again on a small scale. Though the moon is bright tonight over England, only a few planes have been seen. And while London had an alarm tonight, no raiders appeared. The British, however, made another series of heavy raids by daylight on Calais, Boulogne, and Dunkirk. This morning, German planes appeared over Iceland, now held by British and Canadian troops, and machine-gunned the airport near Reykjavik. But the principal purpose of the trip seems to have been to look the place over. Meanwhile, the Germans report successful attacks on convoys off Spain and Portugal. The Italians call yesterday's British raid on Genoa, which caused 300 casualties, deliberate aggression on an open city, though of course it had harbor fortifications, and they say the British came in under cover of a heavy mist. In Washington, the House of Representatives passed the bill lifting the debt limit to $65 billion, while the Senate Foreign Relations Committee was hearing more witnesses against the lease lend bill. Merwin K. Hart, often accused of fascist sympathies, said the bill would get us into war and then the communists might take the country over, and Joseph Curran, often accused of communist sympathies, said the bill was distinctly fascistic. Tomorrow, Mayor LaGuardia of New York, President Conant of Harvard, and Wendell Willkie will testify for the bill, and afterward, Mr. Willkie will see the president. And the Army denies Senator Wheeler's statement that it has ordered 1,500,000 coffins, saying that, as usual in peacetime, funerals are contracted for only when needed.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Carole Lombard and James Stewart in The Moon's Our Home. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. I seem to remember telling a certain young lady a few years ago that she'd never get anywhere in pictures. I believe I said she didn't take herself seriously enough. Well, I've long since eaten those words about Carole Lombard. And tonight we bow low and welcome her to the Lux Radio Theater on the arm of James Stewart, her co-star in the captivating comedy The Moon's Our Home. Paramount gave it to the screen, and we give it to you now as our prescription for raising your spirits at least 100%. It's a madcap love story of two famous and rather temperamental people. One a screen star, the other a combination author and explorer. I know you'll approve our casting of Carole Lombard and James Stewart for these parts. And we have a great respect for you who are out there beyond the footlights. A great respect for your choice of plays and players, and your constructive criticism of this theater. And another thing we respect is your good opinion of Lux Flakes. What pleases me is that so many of you are self-appointed members of our research staff, because each week a large number of you tell us about some new use that you've discovered for our product. I'm sure you've all learned that you can depend on Lux Flakes, all except perhaps a very few who haven't tried it yet. And I hope those few will learn in the very near future, say the first thing tomorrow morning. But the first thing on this schedule now is to raise the curtain on Act 1 of The Moon's Our Home, starring James Stewart as Anthony Amberton and Carole Lombard as Cherry Chester. On the lot at Paragon Studios stands the dressing room bungalow of Miss Cherry Chester, star of Paragon Pictures. In the bungalow stands Miss Chester herself. She has a wild look in her eye and a vase in each hand. The lovely voice that has thrilled audiences throughout the world can now be heard all over the studio lot.
I won't! Stop throwing things.
I won't do it, you hear me? I won't.
You missed me, dear. You must be overtrained.
Oh, Boycie, darling, I'm a beast. My own darling nurse who's taken care of me since I was a child. I might have hurt you.
There was a good chance of it.
Oh, Boycie, if I ever did, I'd blow my brains out.
I know, and I'd have to tidy up afterwards. Now sit down. We must discuss this calmly and sanely. Your grandmother demands that you come to New York at once.
Blast my grandmother. I'm sick of having Lucy Van Steeden run my life. Why doesn't she leave me alone?
Because she's fond of you in her somewhat specialized way. And it worries her when you get mixed up with a lot of Egyptians.
Oh, Boycie, Prince Ali's only one Egyptian, a very small one at that. Lucy ought to stop reading the gossip columns. They're too old for her.
Listen to me. You know, you've got to go to New York, Cherry.
I am not going to New York, and don't call me that foolish name.
Well, Sarah Brown, then.
And don't call me that either. I don't look like a Sarah.
That's what you were christened. I was there when it happened. And Cherry or Sarah, you'll go to New York. Your grandmother gets her way. She always does.
Well, this will be a nice change for her because baby's not going. For once in my life, I'm going to do what I want to do.
She asked very little of you.
Only my right eye.
Oh, dear. Sometimes I wish I had a nice, restful job as a night nurse in a psychopathic ward.
Oh, I know I'm awful, Boycie. But I'll be an angel from now on. I promise, an absolute angel.
That's my good girl. Now run in and change your clothes. Hedda Manning from Movie Universe is coming to interview you.
I won't be interviewed. I won't do it. I won't.
Drop that lamp, my absolute angel.
Oh, Boycie, you're wonderful.
Put the lamp down.
All right, darling.
That's more like it. Now go put on something that makes you look sweet and friendly.
But I want to be aloof. I want to be mysterious.
Don't try that. You're not Swedish. Now go get dressed and stop acting like an actress.
But I am an actress, Boycie. First an actress, then a woman. My art comes before anything else.
Save that for the interview, Sarah Brown. This is me you're talking to, not your press agent.
How do you do, Miss Chester? How do you do, Miss Manning? I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting. But the moments fly by on silvery wings when one is lost in Tolstoy.
Oh, you're interested in literature, Miss Chester?
Interested? Oh, there's nothing I like better than to hide away by myself with a book. A good book.
Oh,
well, you may write that down.
Thank you. But frankly, Miss Chester, I'd like to do an article closer to the hearts of our readers, like love and marriage.
Yes, that would be quite original, love and marriage. Let me see. Marriage should be like a ski jump, sudden, swift, reckless. Starting on the heights, leaping into the void, never knowing the end, never caring. Breathless, defiant, exhilarating.
I see what you mean.
Oh, in love. There's only one way I could fall in love. Not as Cherry Chester, the actress, but as a plain, ordinary girl. I could only fall in love with a man I didn't know and who didn't know me. There should be nothing but us two, the man and the woman. No past, perhaps no future. Just the magnificent present.
Oh, my.
That's it. That's what I want. Oh, they're going to eat this up, Miss Chester.
Oh, miss. What is it, Hilda?
I'm afraid it's another telegram from your grandmother.
I thought I told you to take those telegrams and... Oh, thank you, Hilda, for bringing it to me. Just put it down.
Yes, miss. Well, I mustn't take any more of your time. Thank you so much. I know our readers will adore every word you've said.
Goodbye, Miss Manning. Thank you.
Well, If I recall your last interview, you were all for athletics. You hopped over a couple of fences to prove it. Romance was out, and you were wedded to the open air.
That was the last interview. But you know, Boise, there's something in what I just said to that woman.
Well, if there is, it certainly escaped me. Read your telegram.
All that about falling in love with a man you don't know and who doesn't know you. Oh, that's romance.
But not for you, darling. If I know you, he'll have to...
Boise!
What's the matter?
This telegram is... Hilda, quick! Boise, call the railroad station and get a reservation to New York.
But what on...
Hilda, go home, pack everything. We're leaving for New York. Oh! Boise, don't stand there as if you were painted on the wall. Do something.
Do you mind explaining what this is all about? You'll find I understand English like a native.
It's Granny. It's my own darling grandmother. She's ill. Maybe she's dying. Oh, I've got to get to her right away. Hilda, hurry! It's Granny!
Lucy Van Steeden. Hot or cold, she gets her way.
Please, I can't sign all your books. I'd like to, but really I haven't time. Conductor, we should have left 5 minutes ago. What's holding this train?
Sorry, Miss Chester. We're waiting for a guy named Anthony Amberton.
Hey, Anthony Amberton's here.
Anthony Amberton! Well, that seems to interest everybody. Who is this Anthony Amberton?
He's a writer.
Movies?
Books. My wife reads herself to sleep with them.
Oh, one of those writers.
Yeah. Women of the Torrid Countries by Anthony Amberton. Below the Equator by Anthony Amberton. Igloo Nights by the author of Melee, Day by Day. Just between you and me, he gives me a pain.
Just between you and me, he gives me a bigger one.
Come on, dear. I've just bought a book for you to read. Astride the Himalayas by Anthony Amberton.
Oh, you too.
Oh, please, no, I can't. I've got to get on the train. Porter, where's my car?
Right this way, Mr. Amberton.
Oh, excuse me, not now, please. Now, I'll miss my train.
In here, sir.
Quick, will you get me out of this?
Your compartment's this way, sir.
Boy, headhunters in the jungle, autograph hunters in Los Angeles, savages everywhere. I've climbed Mount Everest, I've swum the Hellespont, I've crossed the Andes on a llama. I never went through anything like that before.
Right in here, sir.
Oh, sanctuary.
Yes, sir. Certainly it's nice to have you with us, Mr. Amberton. I'm a kind of explorer myself. I got as far as Honolulu one time.
Oh, you did? Ah, well, good for you. Well, we'll swap travelogues in the morning. Until then, I don't want to see a single soul. You understand? I'll have dinner in here.
Yes, sir. That time I was telling you about in Honolulu.
Yeah. Well, goodbye. And here, buy yourself a ukulele.
Yes. Oh, we got another celebrity on board, Mr. Amberton. Miss Cherry Chester.
Cherry Chester? Well, nobody's named Cherry Chester.
Well, she says she...
Well, what is Cherry Chester? Some kind of new soft drink or something?
No, sir. She's a moving picture star.
Oh, well, I never go to pictures. Those marshmallow-faced movie stars make me sick.
Yes, sir.
Now, give me the simple, primitive woman, the woman of long silences, consuming in love, enduring in marriage.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Cherry Chester. Huh.
Anthony Amberton. Sounds like a hero in a costume picture.
Let's see that book, dear.
Anthony Amberton, the great adventurer. I'll bet he's lost without his hot water bottle. Anthony Amberton. He makes me sick.
Come here.
Hello, Anthony. Welcome to New York.
Hello, Holbrook. Nice of you to meet me. How are things in the publishing world?
Just marking time till the next Amberton bestseller. Where's your luggage?
Oh, the porter took it. I'm waiting for that crowd to clear off the platform. I sort of wanted to sneak into New York quietly, just for a change.
Oh, but Anthony, that crowd isn't here.
Don't tell me about crowds. It's been that way all the way across the continent. You know, it's a funny thing, isn't it? If I were still Samuel Smith, heir to the Smith plumbing supplies, they wouldn't even notice me. But now that I'm Anthony Amberton, the boy explorer, well, just look out there. Look at
Anthony, I'm afraid your devoted publisher is your only crowd.
Well, no, but the headhunters, look, they're out in full force.
Yes, but you see, Cherry Chester came in on this train, too.
Who? Oh, that movie marshmallow, huh? Well, she probably lives on this sort of thing. I loathe women like that. Give me the simple, primitive woman, the woman of long silence.
Well, I'm only a publisher, but I'll see what I can do.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go as long as they aren't here to see me. Come on.
Please, I can't stop now. Wait to get me out of here. I've got to get home to Granny. Well, where is she? Where's Granny? Don't tell me I'm too late.
Well,
Granny, oh, Granny, darling.
Come here to me, Sarah Brown.
Granny, why aren't you in bed?
Let me look at you. You're thinner. Well, will you change that? You look fairly healthy, though.
Yes, but you're the one that's ill, I believe.
I never had a sick day in my life.
Lucy, you old folk, thank you. Lucy, you're magnificent. I thought you were dying that telegram.
It was a dirty trick, but anything's fair when you want to see your granddaughter as much as I do.
Oh, darling.
Now, what's all this I hear about you and that Egyptian prince, as he calls himself?
Well, he's got a certain right to call himself one. He is a prince.
Don't quibble. What about it?
Oh, the papers make so much of every little thing. All he wants to do is marry me.
Marry you? I never heard of such a thing.
Oh, Grandmother, you modern.
You know what I mean. Answer me, Sarah Brown. Are you going to marry that camel tamer?
No, dear, not for a while anyway. 1,000,000 years or so.
Well, that's better. Now, there's just one thing more. No Cherry Chester of Hollywood is going to stay in this house. Look at you, all powdered and painted. Your ancestors must be spinning in their graves. Now go upstairs and wash your face. And when you come down to dinner, I want to see my granddaughter. Plain Sarah Brown. Simply done hair, simple dress, everything simple.
Simple? Lucy, I'll be positively idiotic. What's for dinner besides food?
Oh, just a few old friends of the family.
Yay, paper caps and confetti.
Yeah, don't be absurd, dear. And I believe Horace is dropping in, too.
Horace? You mean Cousin Horace?
Your third cousin, Horace.
Oh, I think I'm beginning to understand. So that's your little plan, is it, Lucy?
Horace Dunstedin is a monument of respectability.
So's Grant's tomb, but who wants to marry it?
I said nothing of marriage.
Not yet, you mean. You've been throwing Horace Van Steeden at my head since he was 10 and I was 3. And I won't marry him. I won't.
Put down that vase. Where did you ever learn such manners?
In Hollywood.
Well, you're not in Hollywood now. Put it down.
All right.
Come in.
Oh, hello there.
Oh, come in, Horace. We were just talking about you.
Oh, were you? Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Horace.
Nice to see you again. Very nice indeed.
Hi, thank you, Horace. Thank you very much.
Sarah? I've just been telling Sarah that I hope you two will be seeing a good deal of each other for the next few weeks.
Oh, I think that should be very enjoyable, very.
Oh, you,
Sarah!
Well, it slipped.
Sarah, wait. Where are you going?
I'm going out for a drive. I shall go mad if I don't. And if Horace proposes once more, I'll tear him in pieces. I swear it.
I've never seen you so upset.
Oh, Boise, I'm so tired of being Hollywood's Cherry Chester, and I'm fed up with being Grandmother Sarah Brown. Oh, to be alone on a mountaintop, alone with the snow, the sunshine, the stars, where people don't know me, where I could live and do as I pleased without interference.
That place doesn't exist, dear. Go on, have your ride. You'll feel better.
Wait a minute. What's that thing out in the street?
The carriage, dear.
The carriage. Oh, yes, I'd forgotten.
Good afternoon, Miss Sarah.
Why, good afternoon, Higgins. I see that Grandmother still disapproves of motor cars.
Yes, miss, it's the odor of gasoline.
This seems like old times.
All ready, miss?
One moment while I adjust my hoop skirts and raise my parasol. Okay, Higgins, let's rip. Whee! Whee! In that store window. Anthony Amberton in person. Book department. He's autographing books. Come on, Harry. On 10. Isn't he just too marvelous? Mr. Amberton, I can just see you stalking through the jungle.
Can you? Thanks very much. Who's next?
Mr. Amberton, will you please write something personal in my book? My husband's so jealous.
Yes, well, Look, Holbrook.
What's the matter, Anthony?
That perfume again. Smell it?
Well, what's the matter with it?
I don't know. Everywhere I go, on boats, on trains, in airplanes, women wear that perfume. Why?
Well, it's very popular. It's Cherry Blossom, named after Cherry Chester.
Cherry Chester? Well, look, I can't stand it. Come on.
Anthony!
Get me out of here. I'm sick.
All right. Take it easy. We'll go out and get some air. Come on.
Where's he going?
Well, how do you feel now, Anthony?
Better, thanks. That fresh air always does the trick. That stuff gets me every time. I was marooned on a plague-ridden African village once for 6 months. It had the same odor. Ever since, the smell of musk knocks me out.
Well, don't look now, but here comes the thundering herd.
Oh, no, listen, I can't face that crowd again. I'm leaving.
All right, run. I'll hold them off as long as I can.
All right, so long.
Call me at the office.
don't know, miss. The crowd seems to be chasing somebody.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Do you mind if I get in here with you? Thanks very much. Keep going, driver. Will you? Just sit here, will you, please? Sort of let me hide behind you. Thanks very much.
Hello. What's new?
Nothing much. You don't move, please, or I'm lost.
Hey, what do you think you're doing jumping in there?
It's all right. Higgins pay no attention to him.
Very good, miss.
Oh, well, you're very kind. Boy, that was a narrow escape. Would you mind dropping me off further on a bit here?
I should hand you over to the police. What did you steal?
Steal? Oh, no. You think I'm a shoplifter. No, you're wrong. I haven't stolen anything.
Well, you should give it back.
No, really. I haven't, I swear. Look, it's a very simple thing to explain. All you have to do is know who I am.
Is that all? Well?
Take a good look at me.
All right. I'm looking at you. Now what?
You mean you don't know who I am?
Of course I don't, but I'm sure the police do.
No, but they don't.
How fortunate.
Well, I can see I'll have to explain.
Please don't. Let's change the subject. I'm sure it must be very embarrassing for you.
Oh, well, all right. You like New York?
Not much, do you?
No, it's a terrible place. I'm going to get out of it, too. Somewhere where nobody knows me, where I can be alone.
No. It's funny you should say that. That's exactly how I feel.
You? Really, on the level?
On the level. Well, why are you looking at me like that?
You know, you could be quite lovely.
Do you really think so?
Yeah, in a curious sort of way.
Well, are you sure you haven't seen me before? You don't know who I am?
Why, no. Is there any reason why I should?
No, of course not.
Say, tell me, is this your carriage?
Well, it belongs to my people. They don't understand me. They're trying to marry me to a man I loathe.
In this day and age? Well, that's impossible.
Well, he has a great deal of money.
Money? And they'd sell you? Why, those are dark age, medieval ideas.
Well, you don't know my family. If I could only get away.
Look, I must see you again and talk to you.
You can't.
Well, who's going to stop us?
Well, I don't know, but...
Coachman, what's the matter? Keep going.
Can't. Traffic light.
Oh, a traffic light at a time like this. Now, listen, I must see you again. Free, untroubled by people or convention. Just yourself.
Well, I don't know.
I don't want to know your name or where you live. I won't tell you mine. Oh, listen. Look, they're after me again. Look.
Who?
That crowd, they'll tear me to pieces.
Well, get out and run. Run.
No, I'll have to. But I'm going to see you again. Now, this is a dream, but we can make it more than just a dream if you'll come.
Come where?
Well, take this card now. I'll be waiting to see you. I'll come soon. Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. Mr. and Mrs. Abner Simpson, Moonsocket, New Hampshire. Winter sports. Reasonable rates. Home cooking. Higgins, can you imagine?
What, miss?
A shoplifter with an address. How's every little thing?
Did you enjoy your drive?
Oh, it was lovely, lovely. Isn't life glorious, Boise?
Haven't been drinking, have you?
Boise, are these flowers for me?
For you, from Prince Alley.
Allie, oh, how sweet. Remind me to send him a wire.
You needn't bother. He's here in New York, and he's called 16 times this afternoon.
Only 16? He's slipping.
And we're sailing for Buenos Aires tonight at 12.
Sailing tonight? Lucy's idea.
Yes, conceived shortly after the flowers arrive.
She's meddling again. I won't stand it. Buenos Aires.
Now, please don't break anything.
Buenos Aires. And why not? It must be quite lovely at this time of year.
What?
Give me that phone book. Yes. The ocean voyage would do Lucy a world of good.
Horace is going, too.
Oh, dear Horace. How thoughtful, how very thoughtful of him.
Sarah, do you feel all right?
I feel perfectly swell. Go and tell my doting grandparent that I'm delighted with her plans.
All right, but I wish you'd tell me what you had to drink.
Nectar. Ambrosia. Get out, Boise. Mr. and Mrs. Abner Simpson, winter sports, reasonable rates. Oh, hello, Grand Central. Can you tell me what time the next train leaves for New Hampshire? Oh, a very special place. Moonsocket. Moons.
In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars, Carole Lombard and James Stewart, will return for Act 2 of The Moon's Our Home. And now, a last-time announcement. Listen carefully, for tonight is our last offer of the Lux Flakes Gone with the Wind brooch. No wonder women are thrilled with it, for it's exquisite, an expensive-looking jewelry piece, and such a bargain. Let me tell you about it. It has the rich, authentic look of the heirloom jewelry of the Old South, for the original was worn in Gone with the Wind. It is even lovelier than the Scarlet O'Hara brooch we offered last fall, and entirely different in design.
It is round and big, almost 2 inches in diameter, with a safety catch on the clasp. In the center is a big turquoise-colored stone surrounded by a circle of 5 exquisite simulated pearls. It has an antique-style gold finish, and the edge is daintily scalloped. Why, it's so good-looking that you'll want to wear it right around the clock, with party dresses, suits, and street dresses, too. Now, of course, you want to own one of these exquisite jewelry pieces. Well, it's not too late, but you must let us have your order at once. Tonight is the last time we will make this offer. Now, here's what you do. Buy a big box of new Quick Lux Flakes. They come in the same familiar box and cost you no more. Tear off the opening tab at the top corner of the Lux box. Mail this tab with 15 cents in coin, no stamps, please, to Lux, Box 1, New York City. Lux, Box 1, New York City. Be sure to include your name and address. With your brooch, we'll send an illustrated order blank showing how you can get a bracelet, ring, pendant, and earrings to match your brooch, all at wonderful bargain prices. Now remember, send the opening tab from a large box of Lux Flakes, 15 cents in coin, and your name and address to Lux, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act 2 of The Moon's Our Home, starring James Stewart as Anthony Amberton and Carole Lombard as Cherry Chester.
Cherry Chester Mystery! Nationwide search for movie stars! Cherry Chester disappeared!
Like the snows of yesterday, Cherry Chester has vanished into the snows of the present. For the snow is 6 feet deep in Moonsocket, New Hampshire. In an old-fashioned sleigh, she jingles merrily toward the Simpson home, her eyes sparkling with adventure. The driver of the sleigh, Mr. Simpson, is a fund of information.
That's the old Redfern farm over there. Nellie's having her 4th baby. Big house, though. Plenty of room.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Say, we got another city boarder out to the place.
Oh, have you?
Yep, queer sort of cuss, too. Mighty queer.
Well, is the queer cuss, is he a young man?
Well, I wouldn't be saying he was young, and I wouldn't be saying he was old. But judging by appearances, I'd say he was around 30.
That's fine.
On the other hand, appearances can be deceiving. Now, take you, miss. I didn't quite catch the name.
Brown.
Brown? His name is Smith.
Well, what's so funny?
Nothing much.
Yes, I am.
I wonder if you have a room for me for a few days.
You didn't write for accommodations?
No, I didn't, but a friend of mine told me about your place, and I needed a rest, so I just came.
I guess we can put you up.
Oh, thank you.
Where does this grip go?
Upstairs, silly. That's my husband.
Yes, we've already met. Oh, it's lovely here. So peaceful. Oh, tell me, is there a young man named Mr. Smith staying here?
Smith? Why didn't you say so?
Say what?
That you were Mr. Smith's cousin he was expecting.
He was expecting?
Yes. He said you'd come. He didn't tell me your name.
Brown. Sarah Brown.
You are his cousin, aren't you?
Why, yes, that is distantly. You see, we haven't seen each other for years. I ran into him the other day.
I see. Well, he's out tobogganing. You can probably find him at the top of the hill.
Thank you very much. Expecting me, huh? I shouldn't have come. He's too sure of himself.
Oh, you?
Oh, hello, mister.
Well, I got here last night. What took you so long?
Now, just a minute.
Well, never mind. I'm glad you came anyway. Are you?
I'm not so sure. And by the way, Cousin Smith, how are the rest of the family?
Oh, splendid. Of course, little Archie fell in the cistern last week.
No.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Very sad.
Well, there's so many at home, they'll never miss him.
Yes. Well, how'd you like to take a ride in my toboggan?
Oh, is it safe?
Well, sure. Can't run out of gas.
All right.
Sit down.
Wait, is your name really Smith?
Oh, yes, but it isn't the name by which most people know me. I don't want to tell you my other name. It sort of spoils things.
And what makes you think there's anything to spoil?
Well, you make me think so.
Oh, I do, huh?
Yeah, sit down.
Where?
Well, back seat. That's where women belong. Now, put your arms around me.
I will not.
All right, if you think you can hang on, let's go. Now, watch yourself now. I told you, better put your arms around me.
All right.
All right, there. That's much better.
Think you're smart, don't you?
Why, you frightened?
Of course not.
You like it?
Oh, I love it.
It gets steeper down here. Don't let go now. Well,
Oh, it was grand.
you were frightened, though. Huh?
Oh, just a little at first.
Well, you'll never be frightened with me. We'll travel rougher roads and turn narrower corners.
Will we? Say, you're pretty sure of yourself, aren't you?
You know, you're lovely. Yeah, I told you in the carriage that you could be, you know.
Oh, I hate you.
Good. There's nothing more helpful to romance than a little hate. Now, just tell me one thing. Is your name really Brown?
Yes, it is, but it's not the name by which most people know me. I shan't tell you my other name. It would spoil things.
Now, do you see that moon up there? That's where we belong, you and I. Alone on the moon, where nobody could ever bother us. Yeah, that's our home up there.
Do you always go without a hat?
Huh? Why?
Well, I've heard of sunstroke. There's probably a moonstroke, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably. Well, going without a hat's good for the hair.
Yeah, I had a friend on my father's side who always went without a hat. He was bald.
Yeah, he probably didn't have any hair to start with. You know, you should never comb yours.
Why?
Well, I sort of like it that way.
I think you're crazy.
Well, I am, completely.
Well, it certainly is a glorious night, isn't it?
Glorious, and what's more, there's nothing phony about it. No camouflage. All this could be paradise for the right sort of people.
Tell me more about your idea of paradise.
Well, for one thing, not being hedged in by a lot of crazy conventions. As for me, I just discard them.
You sound like a heathen.
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just that I don't burden myself with a lot of illusions as to right and wrong. I don't believe in marriage.
Well, what's the matter with marriage?
Well, everything. In the first place, it's unimportant.
Well, your father and mother didn't think so, or did they?
No, it's old-fashioned, outdated.
It would only take one woman to make you change your mind.
No. Marriage is the monkey wrench women throw into the machinery of love. Now, without it, there'd be no past to bother you, no future to worry about, nothing but the present.
Interesting, but strangely familiar. I must have read it somewhere.
Oh, read it where?
I don't remember. Say, aren't we going too fast?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we are. Hey, easy, Nellie. Hey, whoa, Nellie.
Well, pull on the reins.
Well, what do you think I'm doing? I'm pulling on... Whoa, Nellie.
Oh.
Hey, you see? Feminine instinct all over, willful, headstrong. Well, I can't stop her. You got any ideas on this
you
thing?
might try flattery.
Flattery, that's not my idea. Nice, Nellie. Sweet Nellie.
Hey, look out.
Whoa, now hang on tight. Stop, Nellie. Lovely Nellie. Will you...
Look out.
Hey, where are you?
Here, mister, help me out.
Well, you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. That was nice driving, mister. What happens now?
Well, simple. We'll both walk home from a sleigh ride. Oh, you think she'll catch cold, Miss Simpson?
Can't tell, but I send her up to bed. We'll put this stone at her feet. Ought to be hot enough now.
Well, here, let me take it up to her.
Careful, don't burn your hands.
No, I won't. Thanks very much. Oh, Sarah, are you awake?
Who's there?
Well, it's me. Let me in.
Let you in. Get away from that door.
What? What are you talking about? Listen.
Get away, do you hear me? Maybe you don't believe in a lot of crazy conventions, but I do. Now get away from that door before I scream. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, why didn't you let me in last night?
Did you expect me to?
Well, I certainly did.
Oh, you did, of all the nerve.
Don't see anything to get so hysterical about.
Not only are you a thief, but
so you're going to bring that up again. Oh, God bless you.
Excuse me.
You still think I'm a shoplifter? Oh, what's the use?
Exactly, what's the use? I don't blame you. I blame myself. You did what any ordinary man would do. I followed you here like a naive schoolgirl. I wanted to find out what kind of a man you were. Well, I found out.
Are you trying to tell me that you think that last
I'm
night...
not trying to tell you anything.
Oh, so you're putting me in a tough spot, huh? Well, just get this straight now. If you've got any funny ideas about my interest in you, just forget them. Your type of woman bored me. Give me the simple, primitive woman, the woman of long silences. You're not even good looking. You've got freckles. Your face is covered with them. You've got red hair, and I hate red hair. You've got green eyes, cat eyes, and you're stubborn and bad-tempered. And what's more, you're ungrateful.
Oh, he loves me.
That's your move.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, you could have taken my cane.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Hey, you're very strange tonight. What's the matter?
Thinking?
What about?
Things, many things. Of shoes and ships and seeding wax. Of cabbages and kings.
And why the sea is boiling hot and whether pigs have wings. Yeah. Yeah, you're different tonight. Warm and human. Somehow all woman.
A doubtful compliment.
But well meant.
Oh, it's been heavenly here. But I'm leaving tomorrow.
Oh, leaving? No, you can't.
Why not?
Well, I have plans, and strangely enough, they all concern you.
For instance?
Well, for instance, I'm going to teach you to ski tomorrow.
You'll have to find another pupil.
Well, now, wait. What makes you so determined?
Something I'd almost forgotten.
Oh, listen. That man you told me about in the carriage that day, is he the reason?
Maybe.
Oh, well, I feel better. Now that's all settled. You aren't going to marry him, you're going to marry me.
Well, is that a proposal or a threat?
No, it's just a statement.
Well, it's quite impossible.
Why? Why?
Well, for one thing, I don't believe in marriage.
You don't? Well, now, who's been putting those half-baked ideas into your head? Marriage may not be perfect, but it's the only solution for the average woman.
I am not an average woman.
What makes you think so?
Would you have fallen in love with an average woman?
No, I wouldn't. But would you have fallen in love with an average man?
Well, what makes you think I have? Well, no, of course not.
Well, there you are. The only thing left for us to do is get married.
I don't even know your name.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith, oh, that's awful.
Well, what about Sarah Brown?
I have a violent temper.
Well, I have had complaints about mine,
We'll
too.
fight every day.
And we'll make up every night.
I'll leave you 10 times a year.
I'll always find you. I'll always find you, Sarah Brown.
Oh, darling.
I'm authorized and empowered by the law to perform a marriage between two people who have expressed a desire to be married.
Oh, Sam.
I have here a license. Wait, folks, I can't marry you. There ain't no license. And in New Hampshire, it takes 5 days to get one.
I have it right here.
How's that?
The license. I have one.
Have what?
The license. Here it is. See, right here.
I'm a little deaf. That's fine. I'll start the ceremony.
Where did you get that license?
5 days ago.
You were that sure of me?
Why, of course.
Fine.
And you have been since the beginning, haven't you?
Well, certainly.
Good.
After all that, you still expect me to marry you?
I do.
That's it.
Well, I wasn't taking any chances. Do you still think I was presumptuous? Sir, do you really mean it?
I most certainly do.
Then I now pronounce
you made a pull on me long enough, our marriage
wait a minute. Just a minute. What'd you say, mister?
Man and wife. It's over, folks. $3, please.
After a short intermission, Mr. DeMille will return with our stars, Carole Lombard and James Stewart, for Act 3 of The Moon's Our Home. Meantime, here's a new kind of quiz, a sort of that reminds me test. Now, I've asked one of our Lux Radio Theater audience, Mrs. Tyler Johnson of North Hollywood, to come to the microphone. I'm going to mention 4 words, and she's going to answer right off the bat just what these words remind her of. Are you ready, Mrs. Johnson?
Yes, Mr. Ruick.
Kitchen.
Cooking.
Dinner.
Dishes.
Dishpan.
Dishpan. Why, red hand.
Good. Last word, gentle.
That's easy when you're thinking of hands in the dishpan. Lux Flakes, of course.
Aha, you're a mind reader, Mrs. Johnson. That's just what I hoped I'd remind you of. That Lux in the dishpan is gentle to hands. You know, every woman dreads that red, rough, ungroomed appearance of the hands that we call dishpan hands. And that's why, more and more, women are turning to new Quick Lux for dishes. Because with Lux, their hands stay soft and smooth. Now, we've proved scientifically the great difference between Lux and harsh soaps in our famous one-hand tests. Hundreds of women took part in these tests, and here is what they did. They dipped one hand in Lux Suds, the other in suds from another leading soap, under conditions similar to home dishwashing. The Lux hand stayed so much softer, smoother, and prettier that the women themselves were amazed. For example, take Mrs. Bruce Wilkinson, one of the many women who made the test. She says,
My left hand was smooth, soft, and lovely after being a new Quick Lux. My right hand in another soap was so unattractively red and coarse that I was really ashamed for anyone to see it.
After this, I'll never use anything but Lux Flakes for dishes.
You'll feel proud of your hands if you use new Quick Lux for dishes. They'll stay so nice. These gentle suds are fast and thrifty, too. So why not get that generous big box tomorrow and use Lux Flakes for dishwashing all the time? We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The curtain rises on the third act of The Moon's Our Home. The romance of Cherry Chester, born Sarah Brown, and Anthony Amberton, born Samuel Smith, has been one long series of arguments. But now all arguments are over and done with. Safe in the bridal suite of the Moonsocket Hotel, they face each other as Mr. and Mrs. Sam Smith.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
Any regrets?
Not yet.
Are you happy?
I think so.
I am very happy.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Except for one thing, Sarah. There's something I must tell you.
Oh, let it keep until tomorrow, please. You see, I have something to tell you, too.
Well, tell me now.
Well, even if I wanted to, I couldn't now. You're really not a shoplifter, are you?
Well, would it matter very much if I were?
Oh, not tonight. Perhaps tomorrow. Perhaps not at all ever.
Oh, my darling. Kiss me, darling.
Oh, Sam. Sam.
Oh.
Sam, what is it?
Holy smokes, that perfume again. You got that perfume on your neck.
Well, what's the matter with it?
I can't stand it. I'm getting sick.
Well, it's a cherry blossom.
I know it is. Now open the windows, will you? Open them quick.
For heaven's sakes, are you crazy? It's named after Cherry Chester.
I know. Well, why don't you do something? Don't stand there like a petrified force. Well, open the window. Can't you see I'm sick?
Well, do you expect me to freeze to death just because you've got a complex or something?
Oh, no, I should have told you. But that perfume, I never thought, all this time you've never used it, Sarah. Watch that. You would change your clothes. You would take a bath or something, so it...
Oh, I understand now. You've got memories, haven't you? That perfume brings them back.
Yes, but...
Oh, you admit it.
No.
Don't deny it. I can see it in your face.
I'm sick. That's what you see in my face.
Oh, a wedding night, and you're thinking of someone else. Oh, I hate you.
Sarah, I'm going to pass out.
Go on, pass out.
Oh, no,
Throw it all over the place.
Oh, Sarah,
you can't fool me.
Oh,
you
please, don't leave me here now. Oh. Clark!
Oh, good morning, Mr. Smith. Did you sleep well,
I
sir?
don't remember. Where's my wife?
Your wife? Oh, why, she's gone, sir.
Gone where?
To New York, sir. She left last night.
Well, where in New York?
She didn't say. I didn't think it was my place to ask. I never interfered.
When's the next train out of here?
The next train? Oh, why, there isn't any.
What?
No, sir. There was a snowslide early this morning. The track's blocked.
All right, well, charter me a plane.
I'm sorry, sir. We haven't any airport.
Well, get me something. Get me a dog sled or anything. I've got to get to New York.
Who is it? Hello, Anthony.
Hello, Holbrook.
I didn't expect you back for a week yet. Have a nice trip?
Had a rotten trip.
Oh. How did you like The Simpsons?
Didn't like anybody.
Well, how was the weather?
The weather was foul.
What's the matter, Anthony? Upset stomach?
Now, listen, Holbrook. You've got to help me. Where can I find a girl in this town?
A girl? Why, my wife has a very nice friend.
Oh, no, I don't mean I want to meet a woman. I mean I've met one, the woman, but she's disappeared, vanished, gone.
Oh, well, if you know her name, why don't you try the telephone book?
Well, there are 116 Sarah Browns in the telephone book, all ages, colors, nationalities. I've talked to every one of them. I've searched the city directory. I've been to the Bureau of Missing Persons. I've done everything.
Well, what does she look like?
What does she look like? What does she look like? She's the sweetest, most wonderful, most beautiful girl in the world, Holbrook. Well, now, we've got to find her, Holbrook. If you ever expect me to write another line, you've got to help me find Sarah Brown.
Well, I'll certainly try, but if you've done everything...
What's that yelling about?
Huh? Nothing very important. They found Cherry Chester. She's come back.
Cherry Chester. She's the one I've got to blame for this whole thing, you know. A woman I've never seen has wrecked my whole life.
here's what Warner Wilson says in Broadway Lowdown. Although Miss Chester refuses to explain her whereabouts for the past few days, your correspondent has it on good authority that there is a certain guide in the Maine woods could shed some light
Boise, stop it. I don't want to know about it.
Just as you like. The other paper says you're in the sanitarium with the DPs.
Well, I feel like I was. Boise, why do the papers want to hurt me? Why are people so unkind? I've done nothing, at least nothing that concerns them.
You're a public figure, and as such, your life is not your own.
Oh, I've made an awful fizzle of things, haven't I? Things that I always do. I just wanted to get away, to be myself. I didn't expect to get myself in a jam. And what a jam I'm in, you'll never know.
I haven't bothered you with any questions. No, won't either.
Oh, thank you, darling. Boise, do you believe in fables?
Fables? I used to.
Well, fables always have a happy ending, don't they?
Always, darling.
Good morning, Sarah. I want to speak to you.
I thought you would, Granny.
Boise, you may leave.
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah, everything is arranged. I've already talked to Horace, and the newspaper men are waiting.
Waiting for what?
For the announcement of your engagement to Horace.
Engagement? But Granny...
My dear, I've gone into the situation quite thoroughly. The immediate announcement of your engagement to Horace is the only step we can take to silence this scandalous gossip.
But, Granny, it's impossible. Why, Granny, suppose I were to tell you that I was already married.
I'd say it was your way of evading an issue.
But I am.
Huh? Who to?
Why, to Sam Smith, that's who.
All right. Who is he? Where did he come from? What did he do?
Well, I don't... Granny, you've got to believe me.
I'll believe you. Produce him. Where is he?
I don't know. That is, I'm not exactly sure where he is. I'm trying to find him.
Sarah Brown, if you must lie, do it more convincingly. Now, come on. Let's see the reporters and get this thing over with.
Granny, please, don't please.
Are you coming with me, or shall I see them alone?
All right, but when I marry Horace and they come and arrest me for bigamy, don't say I didn't warn you.
Fiddlesticks.
Hello, Holbrook. Holbrook, this is Anthony. Find out anything? Oh, well, if they can't locate him, nobody can. Look, Holbrook, I've got to get out of this town. I can't stand it. Get me passage on the first tramp that's sailing. Where? I don't... Anywhere. Just call me back, will you? I'm at the club. Have them page me in the lobby.
Excuse me.
Hello, Horace.
Why, Sam. I mean, Anthony. It's stupid of me. I never can remember your pen name.
Oh, that's all right, Horace. How have you been?
Oh, fine. Well, aren't you going to congratulate me?
Congratulate you? What for?
Don't tell me you haven't heard, but the newspapers have been full of it.
Well, I haven't read a paper in weeks.
Oh. Well, I'm going to be married.
Married? Oh, well, that's great.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Are you sick?
No. Just dying. So.
You look awful. I've got it. What you need is a little relaxation. You're coming to my New Year's party tomorrow night.
No, thanks. I don't think I can make it.
Oh, I won't take no for an answer. You've got to meet my fiancée. You'll be crazy about her. And she may like you. Of course you're coming. Where's the old college spirit? Little conviviality's just what you need.
Well, Horace, maybe you're right. That's exactly what I need. A seat on the merry-go-round.
Of course I knew it. Meet me at the Club Continental at 10 o'clock.
Club Continental at 10 o'clock.
What was that trick you ordered, sir?
A Stamboul slide car.
I think that's got me.
You mean to say you've never heard of a Stamboul slide car?
No, sir.
I don't know what kind of a place is it. Where's everybody been for the last 10 years?
Well, I come from Milwaukee myself.
Yeah, well, never mind. Just mix me something strong.
Make mine double. I need it.
Sarah.
Sam, I couldn't believe my eyes.
Sarah Brown.
Sarah Smith. I'm the lady you married, remember?
Oh, yeah. But you look different.
Darling, why didn't you try to find me?
Well, I did. Did you want to be found?
Oh, what do you think?
Well, I think the world's quite sane and we're completely mad. Now, come on, let's get out of here.
Well, there's a terrace outside.
Come on, quick.
Oh, darling, why didn't you tell me? I never would have run away from you.
Well, I tried to tell you. I was too sick. Anyway, you wouldn't listen.
I thought it was the memory of some woman you couldn't forget.
On this earth, there's only one woman. And it's you.
Oh, darling, I've missed you so.
I was going to drink myself into my grave.
You couldn't, sweetie. You'd have gotten sick.
Yeah, that's right. I know. Tell me, though, you've changed. What's it all about? Your clothes and everything. Where are my freckles? What's happened to Sarah Brown?
Oh, Sammy, there's something we've got to talk over. There's something important.
Well, of course, darling. Anytime you want.
I don't know. She went toward the bar, then I lost her.
Well, find her. Find her.
I'm looking. I wonder if Anthony's arrived. I did want Cherry and Anthony to meet.
All right. I married Sarah Brown, and now I discover I also married Cherry Chester. So what?
Now I married Sammy Smith, and I find out that I've also accepted Anthony Amberton. So what?
Sweetheart, we're bigamists. And I love you desperately.
Oh, Anthony.
I
mean Sam.
We did have fun, didn't we?
Loads.
And we'll have lots more.
Lots.
And with this inane career of yours, without that to worry you, why, think how happy we'll be.
What?
I said we'll travel the world's highways, we'll explore every hidden byway, we'll do crazy, ridiculous things, we'll live on the moon.
But, Sammy, I'm not retiring from the screen.
Oh, yes, of course you are. That's all settled.
Well, are you giving up writing and exploring?
Oh, no, certainly not.
Oh, I see. The woman's place is in the home. Hallelujah.
That's quite true.
Oh, no, it's not.
Well, she certainly has no place on a movie screen making faces for a living. You don't call that acting, do you?
Well, I hope you don't cherish any illusions as to your ability as a writer.
Oh, so you've read my books.
I tried one. I couldn't finish it.
I don't believe it. Which one?
The one where you slide down the 6 pyramids.
There are 9 pyramids.
6?
9.
So I'm not only a bad actress, but a liar.
Now, I never realized how utterly disagreeable you can be.
I never realized you were so righteous and smug.
I just merely said that you were a disagreeable, worthless little brat.
You're a conceited, ill-tempered, impossible beast, and I detest you.
All right, now you listen to me.
Take your hands off me.
I'll show you.
Oh, just let me get my shoe off and I'll show you.
All right, stand up here. Go on, stand up.
Have you ever been hit on the head with a high heel?
No, and I won't.
That's what you think.
Ooh. Come on, give me that slipper.
Take it.
Now, come on, give me that, will you?
Let me go, you big ape.
Come on, stop kicking here. Stop. Look out. Look out.
Oh, knock me down, will you?
All right, now give me that slipper.
Hello there, Sarah, dear. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, Horace.
Is something wrong here?
No, nothing at all.
Oh, Sarah, this is Anthony Amberton, my old friend. Anthony, my fiancé.
Charmed.
Just a minute. Did you say fiancé?
Why, yes, of course.
Oh, I see. Well, I really owe you an apology, Miss Chester. You're not only a great actress, but a cheat. For a divorce, I suggest Reno.
Oh, help me up, Horace.
Oh, Sarah, this is awful. What did he mean about a divorce?
Nothing important. Well, where's my shoe?
I think he had it in his hand. Should I go off?
No, let him go. Horace, you're sane, quiet, and soothing, aren't you?
Well, I'm conservative, yes.
Yes, and that's what I want from now on.
Oh, it's 12 o'clock, Sarah.
Oh, Happy New Year, Horace.
Happy New Year.
12 o'clock and Cinderella's lost her slipper.
Of this, please.
I thought I made that clear. I'm looking for Sarah Brown or Cherry Chester or whatever she happens to be calling herself today.
She's not here.
She isn't? Well, I'll look for her myself.
Get out of this house. Get out or I'll have you arrested.
No, I won't. And don't think you're frightening me. I've heard all about you, you antediluvian tyrant.
You?
Yeah, you don't impress me. I don't see anything so terrifying about you.
But what do you want?
What do I want? Do you see this slipper? I want the foot that goes in it. Do you see this marriage certificate? It's a claim check on a girl. A girl about 5'2", red hair, green eyes, face covered with freckles. She's willful, spoiled, has a terrible disposition.
My granddaughter.
My wife.
Your wife? Oh, so you're Sam Smith.
Yeah. Don't hold that against me.
You're very masterful, aren't you? That's just what Sarah needs.
Look, I don't know what she needs, but I need Sarah. Now, where is she?
Thanks to your bad temper and, well, my stupidity, your wife is catching the 11 o'clock train for Reno, where in due time she expects to marry Horace Van Steeden.
Well, wait a minute. I've got to stop her.
How?
Well, I don't know, but...
Wait. I have some influence in this town. Boise, get me the police department.
Hurry, Sarah.
I'm hurrying, Horace.
There he is, officer. Stop. There he is. Stop.
Oh, hello, Sam.
Thought you'd sneak out of town, eh? Here he is, officer.
Come along, you. Hello, wait, what have I done?
No, none of that. Come on, Benny.
Benny?
Boston, Benny. We know you. Escaped from Altoona a year ago.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I've never been in... what'd you say?
Altoona.
In Altoona in my life. Have I, Sarah?
What's the use? They've got you dead to rights this time, Benny.
Sarah! No, wait, this is a horrible mistake. You can't... Oh, Sarah.
Oh, Sammy.
Darling, let's talk things over.
Yes.
So ends Act 3 of The Moon's Our Home. In just a moment, Mr. DeMille and our stars will be back for their curtain call. And now, let me remind you that this is our very last offer of the Lux Flakes Gone with the Wind brooch, the one designed from the exquisite pin worn in the movie Gone with the Wind. You'd better send your order in immediately, or it may be too late for you to own one of these stunning jewelry pieces.
And they really are stunning. So many of my friends have remarked about mine, especially about how rich and expensive looking it is. But, well, the thing I like best is how lovely it looks on many different outfits, from a tailored suit to an evening dress. I think my Gone with the Wind brooch is one of the nicest presents I ever gave myself. And it certainly is the biggest bargain.
Sally is right. This brooch does make a beautiful present for yourself or to give to your friends, and yet it costs so little. It's entirely different from the Scarlett O'Hara brooch we offered last fall. Even lovelier. It's round and big, almost 2 inches in diameter, with an antique-style gold finish and a lovely cluster of simulated turquoise and pearls in the center. The kind of jewelry piece that every woman loves, because it's not only beautiful in itself, it's fashion right. Now, here's how to get this wonderful bargain. Listen carefully, please, because this is the last time we are making this offer. First, buy a big box of Lux Flakes. You'll need this to take care of all nice washables, stockings, underthings, sweaters, and dresses. Next, tear off the opening tab at the top corner of the Lux box and mail it with your name and address and 15 cents in coin, no stamps, please, to Lux, Box 1, New York City. Lux, Box 1, New York City. With your brooch, you'll get an illustrated order blank for matching jewelry pieces. Ring, pendant, bracelet, earrings. All amazing bargains. But don't delay. Now remember, send the opening tab from a big box of Lux Flakes, 15 cents in coin, and your name and address to Lux, Box 1, New York City. This offer is good only in the United States. Now, here's Mr. DeMille with our stars.
Once more, the spotlight turns to Carole Lombard and Jimmy Stewart as they come back to this microphone.
Thank you, Mr. DeMille. You know, the thing I like about this Lux Radio Theater is the way everything runs so perfectly. There's never a miss anywhere.
Say, you're not going to play the accordion now, are you, Jimmy?
Oh, no, I didn't bring it tonight. I should have been applause there. Now, this is no place for my accordion. Why, even the boys and girls that collect autographs at the door won't take just anything. For instance, there was that girl who stopped me on the way in tonight.
You surely didn't disappoint her, Jimmy.
Oh, no, I signed, and then I asked her what she was going to do with it, and she said, well, if I can get Carole Lombard when the show's over, why, I know where I can trade both of you for Clark Gable.
I'll have to speak to her. She can't make a bad bargain like that.
Oh, now be polite, Carole. I might have to take back my autograph.
But seriously, Mr. DeMille, I have enjoyed very much coming back to Lux Radio Theater. Well, in the past few months, I think you've really taken on a new assignment here. All entertainment is at premium now, and anything that lifts us out of the everyday routine for an hour or so is what we need at a time like this. America must be strong, and we must keep it free by making it stronger still. While we're all working toward that end, to the limit of our strength, we need the emotional outlet that a theater like this provides.
Let me show you a little of our mail sometime, Carole, and you'll understand why we think of this as a national theater.
Oh, what's going on in it next week, Mr. DeMille?
Plenty of action, Jimmy. Our play is Johnny Apollo, and our stars are Dorothy Lamour, Edward Arnold, and Burgess Meredith. Johnny Apollo is the story of a father and son who lost faith in each other, and of a girl named Lucky who brought them together again. Next Monday night, you'll hear Edward Arnold as the father, Burgess Meredith as the son, and Dorothy Lamour as the girl named Lucky. The 20th Century Fox picture made a hit on the screen, And I have a distinct premonition it will do the same for us.
Well, that's a great story, Mr. DeMille, and you have a swell cast. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Our stage doormat has welcome on it for you two anytime. Good night. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Flakes, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Dorothy Lamour, Edward Arnold, and Burgess Meredith in Johnny Apollo. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
This week, the nation is celebrating Boy Scout Week, the 31st anniversary of the Boy Scout movement in America. Today, 1.5 million scouts are training for democracy as active members of this great organization. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join the Lux Radio Theater in saluting the Boy Scouts of America. James Stewart appeared tonight through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and is currently seen in this studio's production, Come Live With Me. Carole Lombard's current screen hit is Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the RKO production, which was directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Heard in tonight's play were Clara Blondick as Lucy, Verna Felton as Boycie, Hans Conried as Horace, Lou Merrill as Holbrook, Charles Seal as Justice of the Peace, Ralph Sedan as Abner, Stanley Farrar as Coachman, Gloria Blondell as Hilda, James Heagles as Hotel Clerk, Jack Carr as Porter, Celeste Rush as Miss Manning, and Noreen Gamil as Mrs. Simpson. The brooch, offered you by the makers of Lux Flakes, was designed from one worn and gone with the wind, the Selznick International picture, produced by David O. Selznick and released by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Our music is directed by Louis Silvers, and your announcer has been Melville Ruick.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Lady Esther Serenade. You're invited to enjoy the sweetest music this side of heaven, played by Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians, and your hostess is Lady Esther. Lady Esther presents America's most distinctive dance orchestra, the Serenade. First, Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians play Riding on a Rainbow.
I'm riding on a rainbow. I'm singing to the sun. I found my dream in a silver lining. When the rain was through, there I was with you. Let's wander through the sunshine. Let's linger in the sky. We'll spend a lifetime riding on a rainbow, watching all the clouds roll by.
moment you met, those first thrilling words, that first dance. You recall them? Guy Lombardo plays It Was Wonderful
It was wonderful then, and it's wonderful now. It's been wonderful weather since we're in love. It was beautiful then, and it's beautiful now. That's because we're here together, and oh, so in love. It was wonderful when we had wonderful dreams. Then our wonderful dreams all came true. A million smiles from now will still be telling how it was wonderful then, and it's wonderful now.
To the majesty of this inspiring melody, Guy Lombardo plays Largo. A new melody makes its bow to the nation. Played now for the first time on the air, a song whose charm may win your heart and so make it a favorite. Guy Lombardo introduces Time and Time Again.
I whisper your name, time and time again. It's always the same. I see your face before me, as always, but always in dreams. Time and time again, I hope and I pray the time will come again when day after day I'll hold you in my arms and see my dreams come true. Time and time again with you.
One of the most brilliant features of America's favorite dance orchestra, the Lombardo Twin Pianos. They play Let's Be Frank. The artist mixes colors. The musician blends rich tones to tell a story. Guy Lombardo's music and the song Georgia on My Mind.
Georgia, the whole day through. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pine. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road that leads back to you. So Georgia, Georgia, no peace I'd find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Joyful rhythms in the smart Lombardo manner. The Royal Canadians play the love song, No Foolin'.
I'm just a fool for you. 80 days, no fooling. Got me playing fair. I'd fight a duel for you. Going crazy. I'll climb a steeple and yell down below. Hey, tell all the people you're the hit of the show. That's so. No fooling. Got myself a plane. I'm gonna learn to fly like a bird. No fooling. If it doesn't rain, I'll write your name in the sky. But big. I'm not a famous person, but they'll put me in who's who. The day you say no fooling, I do.
South America in music. Vibrant rhythms capture the glamour of the continent. As the Lombardos play Canto Carabali. Lombardo Medley Time, a rendezvous with dreams. America's favorite dance orchestra plays songs of romance. This is I Give You My Word. Fantasy. Sunrise Serenade. I touched a star. I touched the star when first your lips touched mine, and I brought it down to earth for you. I touched the star as soft as candle shine, a lover's lantern in the blue, and then I pinned it in your hair. It looked so lovely then, and as I sighed a prayer, its golden beam brought starlight dreams. The night was still,
and our love grew until my heart flew up so far I touched a star.
Serenade is heard each Monday evening at the same time over this coast-to-coast CBS network. So listen again next Monday to the sweetest music this side of heaven, played by Guy Lombardo and his Royal Canadians, and presented with the compliments of Lady Esther. Columbia Broadcasting System.
From New York to George for Hormel and Spam.
George and Gracie. Spam, oh boy, Spam, what joy. George Burns, Gracie Allen, on the show where there's orchestra, the singing glee with the smoothies three. To start the fun, here's Jimmy Wallington.
Time for Burns and Allen with another half hour of another suggestion for serving a breakfast that you start with Spam. S-P-A-M. Friends, do you realize more families than ever before are using Spam for breakfast? You see, Spam is grand tasting meat. Sweet, juicy pork shoulder combined with tender, tasty ham. That's why Spam has extra goodness and flavor. It's so easy to use, too. For breakfast, just open the Spam can, cut off slices, and fry quickly in a hot pan. Serve those sizzling hot slices with eggs or cake. The meaty flavor, the lip-smacking goodness of Spam will make your breakfast perfect. Try Spam fried. Try the other recipes on the label and discover that Spam has other uses, cold or hot. Just ask for S-P-A-M. Spam. Now, George and Spam's meatheart, Gracie.
Thank you. Well, Gracie, here we are in New York.
Oh, yes, and I love New York. I'll always love New York. You know, we started in New York.
I know.
It's always a pleasure to get back to New York.
That's right.
You know, I'd rather get back to New York than go somewhere and come back to...
Well, that's because you love New York.
Oh, so do I.
Yes, good.
You know, everybody loves New York because it's so New York.
Yeah, there's something about New York.
Of course, my sister Bessie doesn't like New York, but then again, maybe that's because she's never been here, huh?
Yes. That might have something to do with it.
Yes, because Bessie likes bananas.
Yeah, she likes bananas.
Yes.
Well, maybe she's been there.
No, she goes there every summer. Oh, but I love New York.
Yeah, well, that's fine, Gracie.
I don't hate bananas,
No.
but I can get bananas in New York. That's why I love New York.
Look, Gracie, we all love New York. You love New York. I love New York. The audience loves New York. Everybody loves New York.
Oh, certainly.
Good.
You know why?
I know why. I know why.
Yeah, and what a thrill it was to get to the Grand Central Station. The train pulled in. Of course, the train always has to pull in before you get off.
I know.
Because if you get off before the train pulled in, you wouldn't be in New York.
That's right.
I want to be in New York because I love
New York. Yes.
Yes.
So the train pulled in.
Yeah, I know. I was on it. Oh. And what a station.
A good station.
Yes. And the taxi cab that took me to the Waldorf Astoria. What a taxi cab. They've got sky view taxi cabs here.
I know. I rode in one, you know.
Don't ever ride in one again without an umbrella.
Without an umbrella? Why not?
No, because when you open the top, it rains in your face.
Well, I'll remember that.
Yes,
I'll remember that.
It's better to carry 2 umbrellas.
Yes.
It snows here, too.
It snows here, too, yes. Well, Gracie, the taxi cabs with the sliding tops are wonderful.
Oh, yeah, and they're very good for musicians.
Musicians?
Yeah. You know it's the only taxi cab in the world that you can get into with a bass fiddle?
Is that so? Gracie, look, you got at the Grand Central Station, you got into a taxi cab, and you were going to the Waldorf. Did you get there?
Now, please, George, you're not giving me a chance to say anything.
Yeah, I'm doing all the talking, yes.
Well, anyway, I finally got to the hotel, and the fare was $6.20.
$6.20?
Yes, up Fifth Avenue, through the Browns, around Myrtle Avenue, through Long Island, and zoom right in front of the Waldorf Astoria.
Zoom right in front of the Waldorf Astoria?
Uh-huh.
Gracie, from Grand Central Station to the Waldorf is exactly 4 blocks.
Well, the cab driver must have been a stranger in town.
$6.20?
Yes.
That's a very tidy zoom.
Yes. So I got back into the cab. And went to Grand Central Station.
Just a second. What are you doing back in Grand Central Station?
Got the luggage.
Forgot your luggage. Yes.
So, I got back the luggage, got into the cab, and zoom the Waldorf Astoria.
Zoom another $6.20.
No, $4.80. He found a shortcut.
You know, Gracie, you lean a little towards the imbecilic.
Well, maybe that's because the floor's a little slanty, huh?
Yes. They're making them on the bias in New York now.
So, I got into the hotel and I went into the lobby. Oh, what a lobby. You know, I love lobbies. That's the Hobby Lobby.
That's your Hobby Lobby. Is that so?
And what bellboys, what boys, what bells.
Wait a minute.
Say, George.
What?
George.
What?
Don't look now, but turn around.
Don't look now, but turn around?
That fellow's still following us.
Fellow? What fellow?
From Chicago. The one peeping over the mustache.
That's Jimmy Wallington.
It is. Looks like a mustache to me.
Don't you remember me, Gracie?
Well, I don't remember your name, but your fuzz is familiar.
Yes. Got very familiar fuzz. Yes.
I'm your new announcer.
Are you the fellow who sells Spam?
I'm the fellow.
You mean S-P-A-M Spam?
That's me.
I remember you. You're simply delicious.
Yes. Especially when he's fried.
Yeah.
So how do you like New York, Gracie?
Oh, I love New York. People are always saying, how do you like Manhattan? How do you like Gotham? I think those places are all right, but personally, give me New York.
I love New York. Yes. Jimmy, you're right. Gathering from Gracie's remarks, you can tell that she loves New York.
Oh, me too.
Yes?
It seems so good to be broadcasting from New York. And all these people in the audience are from New York. Hello, everybody. Wave to them, John.
I'm waving. Hello, everybody. Hello, yes.
And everybody's so friendly here. They fall all over themselves to be nice to you. They throw their arms around you, and they're so warm and cuddly, and they put their cheeks next to yours.
Gracie, where does this happen?
In the subway.
In the subway? What a subway! Well, we're back again, folks.
They run underground, you know.
I know. I was born on 14th Street.
Did you have to wait long for a train?
About an hour. Well, Jimmy, you started this whole thing again, and Gracie, let me tell you something.
See, George, that's a pretty mustache he's got.
Look, Gracie, I'd like to tell you something.
You know there's only one place you can see a mustache like that?
New York.
No, under his nose.
I say. Gracie, let me tell you
See,
something.
my uncle has a mustache exactly like it.
It's curly, huh?
No, Butch. Curly hasn't got a mustache.
Well, that's very interesting.
Oh, you ought to see Butch's mustache. He uses so much wax you can't bend it.
Stiff as a board, huh?
Oh, you're thinking of Curly. Butch doesn't drink.
No. Yes. Well, that's my
Hello,
error.
Artie.
Hello. Gee, Gracie, you're looking pretty tonight.
Oh, you know, I'm glad to hear you say that because I know I look pretty every other night, but I wasn't sure about tonight.
Yes. That's a smart suit you got on, George.
Really, Artie?
Yeah, you look like you stepped out of a page of a magazine.
Well, thanks, Artie.
Popular Mechanics.
That's a very funny crack you've got there.
Thanks a lot.
But I didn't recognize it without a clarinet stuck in it.
Boys, don't argue. You ought to be friends. As a matter of fact, there's very little difference between Artie's clarinet and your suit, George.
Well, that's a nice compliment.
Of course, his clarinet is not as loud as your suit. But then again, your suit hasn't got as many holes.
I say. Well, Gracie, you just button your lip, and Artie, you can button that clarinet.
Well, all right, George, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I didn't mean to start any trouble.
Oh, well, I know. Just forget it.
You know,
all.
George, I'd never say anything to upset you.
I know, and forget it, kid.
By the way, Gracie, how do you like New York?
I love New York. I've always loved New York. You know, we started in New
And
York.
all the
It's a pleasure to
Smoothies,
get
Bad
back to
Charlie,
New
and
York.
Little, who are
Because
playing at the
everybody
Roxy
loves
this
it
week,
so
will sing,
much.
What Are You Thinking Of, Baby?
What you making with those eyes? What's the meaning of those signs? What you thinking of, baby? Oh, what am I thinking of? Why you sitting up so prim? Why you turn the lights down dim? What you thinking of, baby? Oh, bet it's something swell, ain't you gonna tell? What do you wanna whisper in my ear for? Get so near for? Why did you look to see the coast was clear for? Well, what are we here for? What's inside your curly head? Makes your cheeks a rosy red. What you thinking of, baby? I kinda think it's love. Oh, we think you're swell. Ain't you gonna tell her what you're thinking of, baby? Why'd you make those eyes? Why'd you side those sides? Why'd you wanna whisper in my ear for, baby? Why did you look to see the coast was clear for? What are we here for? What's inside your curly head? Makes your cheeks so rosy red. What you thinking of, baby? Now I'm asking you, oh baby, say it's really true, baby, baby.
Country. And you know why? Because they've got more people here. And you know why they've got more people here?
Gracie, look, try to get this through that head of yours. I was born in New York City, and I know all about it.
Oh, well, then you love the surprise I've got for everybody here. Oh, and what a surprise.
Oh, you've got a surprise.
Yes, I've written a play.
A play?
Yeah, I don't write a play very often. Sometimes I only write it once.
Well, that's usually enough.
Yes.
Tell me, Gracie, did you have a collaborator?
Oh, sure, Jimmy, but I didn't know how to run it, so I used a pencil.
Jimmy means, did anybody help you?
Oh, no. My sister, my uncle, Mrs. Jenkins, and I wrote it alone.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Who is Mrs. Jenkins?
A makeup artist. She works for the Waldorf Astoria, and whoa, what a makeup artist. She's the most amazing
Look,
woman.
Gracie, a makeup artist at the Waldorf Astoria?
Yeah, she makes up the beds. And
what
beds?
beds? What beds? Yes. And she helped you write the play?
Oh, boy, and what a play, and what a plot. Well, you know the man who came to dinner?
Uh-huh.
Well, I wrote it after he left.
Gracie, look, I'll do this play only on one condition, if it has nothing to do with New York.
It hasn't.
Are you sure?
Well, certainly.
Oh,
it's
good.
a Western play. It takes place on a Dude Ranch.
Well, that's the best news I've had today. Let's do the play.
Yeah, let's. You know, George, this is the least we can do after New York City declared a holiday on our arrival.
A holiday?
Yeah, imagine them closing all the Whalen drugstores.
They closed the Whalen drugstore?
Yes.
They're striking.
Oh, so am I in this new hat.
Oh, it's pretty. Yes.
Sure. You like my new hat?
Oh, sure.
Where do you think I got it?
Where?
On my head.
Well, that's a good vacant spot for it.
George, don't you think it looks prettier without the box?
Oh, I think so, yes. It's pretty without the box.
The box is pretty, too.
I'll bet.
My sister Bessie's wearing that.
Look, Gracie, what about the play?
Oh, the play. Oh, yes, the play. Let's start at the beginning.
Yes, let's start at the beginning.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Oh, well, that's fine. The guitar player finally showed up. Senor Lee, don't you know that you're supposed to be here on time like the other musicians?
I was in Brooklyn. I got lost in Flatbush.
Flatbush? It's Flatbush.
What trouble I had? I had a fight with a subway guard.
A fight, huh?
Si, senor. I said, I want to go to Times Square. And he said, I'll tell you where to get off. And I said, you'll tell me where to get off. I'll tell you where to get off.
And he threw you off in Flatbush.
See, he thought he was a smart aleck. He said for 2 cents he'd punch me in the nose.
Well, what happened?
What happened? He ran up a bill for $28.
Getting lost. Why, that's impossible. New York has the greatest transportation system in the world.
Well, sure, because New York's the greatest city in the world.
Well, certainly.
And I love New York. I've always loved New
Never
York.
mind, never mind. Look, you wrote a play about the West. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Then again, maybe a play wouldn't be big enough. Maybe I ought to do something much bigger, like opening a World's Fair, huh? No, better not. They tried that, and when Grover Whalen left, they had to close the fair.
Yes.
They even closed the drugstore.
I know that. Look, Gracie, why don't you go and get lost on 52nd Street? There are a lot of little places.
52nd Street?
Yes.
Hey, George, that reminds me. I met a girlfriend of yours in one of the nightclubs on 52nd Street.
21?
No, but her daughter is.
That's very witty, Artie.
Say, Artie, I don't think you should talk about George's girls that way. Age is one of the most beautiful things there is, especially when it gets old.
That's right, when it gets old. It's very nice.
You should have respect for it. You and friends feel liable to get old yourselves someday.
You said it.
The older a person is, the more respect you should have for them.
That's right.
So when you talk to George, take your hat off.
Gracie, are you going to do this play, yes or no?
Now, either that or something much bigger.
Yes, something much
Say,
bigger.
Gracie, this is my second week on the show. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I can't understand how anybody can talk so long and say so much and still not mention Spam.
Jimmy is perfectly right, you know.
And, Gracie, there's so much to mention about Spam.
That's right.
There's pork shoulder with ham meat added.
Well, that's fine.
Cold or hot, it hits the spot. It needs no refrigeration.
Jimmy,
it sticks to your ribs.
This talk is driving me crazy.
Oh, and what a drive, Riverside Drive, Park Avenue. What a town, what a place. Hello,
And now, Artie Shaw, his clarinet, and his orchestra will play There'll Be Some Changes Made. Take it, Artie.
Artie, you got
Oh,
me.
look, George, I just got a telegram from my brother Willie, the one who's in the Army, you know.
Oh, your brother Willie usually sends a letter.
Yeah, but he couldn't afford a stamp.
Oh, I see. So he sent a telegram.
Yeah, look. It says, Dear Gracie. Doesn't he print cute?
Yes, he's a very cute printer, yes.
Dear Gracie, Camp Dix, New Jersey is a marvelous camp.
Just a minute, Gracie, your brother was at Camp Ord in California. Why was he transferred?
Well, he wasn't exactly transferred. What happened was an officer from Camp Dix visited Camp Ord, and when the officer went back, Willie's hand was caught in his pocket.
So he ended up in Camp Dix?
So did Willie.
I see what you mean, yes.
Gracie, dear, thanks, Bessie, for sending me that portable bathtub.
Well, that's a pretty thought.
I carry it everywhere I go, and it gets pretty heavy, especially when it's filled with water.
Well, that's really a smart kid you've got there.
Yeah, and it's even heavier when I'm in it.
Well, that's a smart telegram, too.
Yesterday I made my first parachute jump, and my buddies played a silly trick on me. They took the parachute out of my pack and put a lunch in it.
They took out his parachute and stuck in the lunch?
And when I jumped out and pulled the ring, out came three peanut butter sandwiches. Signed, Willie.
Signed, Willie? I'll bet that made your brother sore.
Yeah, he hates peanut butter.
Gracie, let's do your play.
All right, let's go.
Let's start with the play.
I'll answer that, George.
Okay, Jimmy.
Hello? Yes? Oh, really? Goodness, that's too bad. He did. Well, maybe we can help you, Mrs. Morgan.
Something wrong, Jimmy?
Yes, this lady lost her husband.
Oh.
Well, Jimmy, maybe she shouldn't gamble.
Yes.
Willie never gambles, and he shoots dice. If he wants 11, he makes 11.
Loaded, huh?
So are the dice.
So... Gracie, will you stop butting in? This lady is in trouble.
Listen, George, I'll handle it all right. Yeah. Look, lady, when you lose your husband behind a newspaper at the breakfast table, here's the easy way to serve a morning meal that starts the day right and makes Pop and the youngsters sing your praises loud and long. Serve Spam fried. Spam is meat. Downright delicious meat packed in a handy can. Hormel, long known for famous meats, originated Spam to make your meal getting easier. Spam is a perfect combination of pork shoulder and ham. And that's why Spam has extra goodness. Why, there is nothing just like Spam in quality and taste. So when you serve Spam, you bring to the table sweet, juicy, tender meat with a flavor all its own. Open the can, cut off slices, fry quickly in a hot pan. Those sizzling hot slices of juicy, tender, mouth-watering meat are a perfect companion for eggs or a stack of wheat cakes. When hubby gets a whiff of Spam, you certainly won't lose him behind a newspaper. Tomorrow, ask your food dealer for S-P-A-M, Spam.
Slice it, dice it, fry it, bake it, cold or hot. Spam hits the spot.
Oh, and now for my New York surprise. And what a surprise and what a play.
Let's begin.
Yeah, what a beginning.
Good. Now, Gracie, what's the name of your play?
What's the name of my play?
Yes.
What's the name of my play?
Yes.
Oh, let's make up a name.
Well, let's make up a name.
Oh, I know, on account of it's a love story about the West.
About the West, yes.
Let's call it Rodeo and Juliet.
Rodeo and Juliet.
Yes.
Well, let's start.
All right, let's start. Is everybody ready?
Yes, everybody's ready.
Okay, on with the play. Let's change the title.
Are you goofy?
Are you goofy? Well, that's good, but it doesn't sound Western enough.
Look, let's get started and we'll change the title later.
Well, anyway, George, you're the hero.
So fine.
I've got a title. How about Arsenic and Old Face?
It's arsenic and old lace, not old face.
But you're the hero.
Gracie, the play.
Oh, all right. Everybody ready?
Yeah, we're all ready.
Oh, and George, right after the lynching, there's a love scene.
Oh, there's a lynching?
Yes. Now, you're at the ranch house, and your sweetheart drives up in the bus. That's where you tip your hat.
She arrives in the bus, and I tip
Yes.
my hat. I say, how do you do?
A Fifth Avenue bus.
A Fifth Avenue bus?
Yes.
What's a Fifth Avenue bus doing out west?
Well, you see, the driver got caught in the rush hour, and he couldn't make a right turn.
So he finished up out west?
Oh,
Yes.
Fifth Avenue. What a Fifth Avenue. The more I think of it, the more I think of
Gracie,
it.
the play. Stop thinking of it. Just do the play.
You know, Jimmy, it's wonderful to walk down Fifth Avenue and have all those well-dressed girls smiling at you from the store windows.
Now, Gracie, those were dummies.
Well, they may be dummies, but they know enough to get fur coats.
Gracie, how can you be such a terrific imbecile?
Oh, maybe that's just because I use my brains. And what
brains? Yes, what brains? Look, well, will you start the play?
Oh, yes. Everybody ready?
We're all ready, yes.
Oh, good. Now, as the curtain goes up, there's a cyclone.
A cyclone?
Yes, and we find a dude ranch nestled in the rolling hills. And we find a dude on trial.
On trial?
Yes.
What has the dude done?
What?
What has the dude done?
Dude done? Oh, George, what's your English?
All right. What did the dude do?
Do. You sound like a peanut wagon.
Gracie, you told me that there's a dude on trial. So I'm just asking you what the dude did.
Dude did? That's even worse than dude done.
Look, if the dude did it, then it's something that the dude's done. And anything that the dude's done is something that the dude did.
I can't stand this. Let's get back to my play.
Yeah, let's get back to your play, yes.
Oh, where's Artie Shaw?
Right here, Gracie.
Hello. Now, Artie, let me hear you say, Gracie, I love you.
Gracie, I love you.
Well, now put your arms around me.
Like this?
Now bend me back.
Like this, huh?
Now kiss me.
Like this?
No, like this.
Wait a minute. What is this?
Well, George, this is the part I do with you in the play.
That's the part you do with me in the play?
Yes.
Well, why do you rehearse it with Artie? I'm the hero. Why don't you kiss me?
Well, if she did that, she'd be the hero.
That's a very E-flat joke.
Well, on for the play already?
We're all ready.
Senor, got your guitar?
Si, señorita.
Oh, that's fine. Now, during the stampede, you're supposed to be serenading a girl on a balcony. You know a good number?
Sure. Mabel, Brian 3885.
Senor, Gracie means if you got a good arrangement.
Perfect. I sent her little brother to the movies, and then Mabel
Never mind.
All right, everybody ready?
Everybody is ready. Let's start the play.
Say, George, this is very important.
Oh.
During the earthquake, there's a flood.
Just a minute. During the earthquake, there's a flood?
Oh, what a flood.
You don't happen to have an aspirin.
Yeah, but that's in the third act.
Oh, in the third act, then I'll have to wait then.
Anyway, there's a very neglected ranch. The weeds and the alfalfa are growing wild right under the owner's very nose. By the way, where is Wallington?
Hey, Jimmy, alfalfa, Wallington.
Oh, I'm sorry, George. I missed my cue. Ladies and gentlemen, Spam has become the most popular meat item brought out in a generation.
Wait a minute, Jimmy.
What?
That comes later.
Now, Jimmy, during the prairie fire,
Just a
that's
second.
where...
There's a prairie fire.
Oh, and what a prairie fire.
What follows the fire?
Mare LaGuardia.
Mare LaGuardia's in the play?
Well, he's the only one I know who has a 10-gallon hat.
Well, why do you need a 10-gallon hat?
Well, that's to carry the water in to put out the fire.
Gracie, I can't see anything in this whole play.
Well, under a 10-gallon hat, you can hardly see Mayor LaGuardia.
Well, I hope I don't get a ticket while I'm in town.
Now, you've all got your parts?
We've all got our...
All ready?
We're all ready.
All right, start the play. Curtain, music. Whoa!
Hiya, Gracie.
Hiya, Slim. How are all your cattle?
They're fine. I got the same old oxen, but I got a new yoke.
New York? Oh, I love New York. I'll always love New York.
Whenever the occasion calls for delicious meat at your house, serve Spam. S-P-A-M. Originated by Hormel, Spam has become the most popular meat item brought out in a generation. Packed in a handy can, Spam is tender, taste-tempting meat that you can fry for breakfast, bake for dinner, or serve cold for lunch. Millions of families now use it regularly. Join them. Ask your food dealer for Spam when you shop tomorrow. You'll discover when you use the easy recipes on the label that cold or hot, Spam hits the spot.
Thank you, Jimmy. Well, Gracie, say goodnight.
Well, good night. Say,
good night.
George, how long are we staying here in New York?
5 weeks.
Oh, then I better take my hat off. And what a hat and what a head. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh,
Bye.
come on.
This week, we join with the nation as it celebrates the 35th anniversary of the Boy Scout movement in America. More than 1.5 million dependable young Americans in their Scout uniforms give us visible evidence of the character building and citizenship training of Scouting. We salute the Boy Scouts of America. Join us again next week, same time, same station, for another Burns and Allen show with Artie Shaw, his orchestra, and the Smoothies. This is Jimmy Wallington reminding you to remember that cold or hot, Spam hits the spot. Have you tried Hormel chili con carne? Even those who think they don't like chili do like chili con carne the way Hormel makes it, because it's different and everybody likes it. Double your money back if you don't like it. Try Hormel chili con carne tomorrow.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, that's the way it was on February 10th, 1941, a Monday. I will tell you what we have coming up tomorrow night, spotlighting February 11th, 1941, and you'll want to stay tuned for that. There is some great stuff. It's actually one of the longer uploads. The last couple Tuesdays, it was short, but we have quite a bit of stuff coming up tomorrow night, so you'll want to stick around and hear about that in just 1 minute. If you love old-time radio, film, and music, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new upload will premiere. If you are interested in World War II as much as I am, check out our other channel, the World War II newspaper channel. Expand the description section to this video and you will see a link that will take you there. Now, I'd suggest listening to the latest upload to decide if it's your thing. Over there, you will hear the Chicago Tribune read to you for between 90 minutes to 2 hours. You will get a much more detailed look about what it was like to actually live through World War II than I can give you just by sharing radio broadcasts. You will not only hear detailed news of the big battles and historical events, you will hear trivial facts about the war. You will hear news from the United States home front from the early stages of U.S. mobilization and war protests to Pearl Harbor and the ramping up of the war machine to the final victories and reconversion. You will hear every facet of American life change forever. One quick thing for those of you who are fans of the newspaper channel. It looks like I'm going to have more time than I usually do this week to upload on that channel, so watch for more uploads there this week. It seems like circumstances are swinging my way in that regard, so watch for that. Well, all right, let me tell you what we have coming up tomorrow night. We have a lot of stuff. We're going to start it out with the morning news, the news of the world. Then we're going to have Vic and Sade. Then an afternoon program called Tony Wan's Scrapbook. And then we have a wonderful science fiction program, a very early adult science fiction program. Now, this is a really, really cool show. I only wish I had more of them. This is the only episode that I have. It's called Latitude Zero, and it's the premiere program in the series. It might even be the audition program, but it is a great show. And I even found it written up in Life magazine, and I'll read you that article tomorrow about what they say about this program. And then we're going to have Elmer Davis and the News, Fibber McGee and Molly, a horror show with Inner Sanctum Mysteries, and then a big band remote with Tommy Dorsey and and the orchestra with Frank Sinatra on the vocals, a young Frank Sinatra. So we have a variety tomorrow night. We have some comedy, we have some horror, we have some music, we have some sci-fi, we have a dramatic reading, and some news. Boy, oh boy, is it a great variety tomorrow night. You're definitely going to want to come back for that. It is, man, I'm looking forward to it myself, and I can listen to this stuff anytime I want. But I'm just loving being able to present this to you. So definitely come back tomorrow night. You will not be disappointed for sure. Until then, I'm Henry Chop, your host. Let's turn off this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this change.